split your bot.
All good.
Okay. Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining. Today we're playing Dungeons & Dragons. I haven't done this in like 2.5 years because I do a really complicated high preparation setup. We're playing 4th edition D&D. The current edition of D&D is 5th edition. You have to remind me, Lisa, Matt, Dursey, what D&D have you guys played?
No edition.
I have no idea what edition
I have no idea.
I played once, and it was a very casual game.
I played
but
once
I was
with
once a sick-ass Decker and Gator mancer.
The difference really at the end of the day is 4th edition came out like 10 years ago, and it was really video gamey and very wireframey. In fact, it took a lot of inspiration from World of Warcraft, which was kind of funny given that World of Warcraft owes so much to D&D. And a lot of people didn't like that, very reasonably, right? They didn't want video games, they wanted tabletop RPGs.
Yeah, that's sir.
I like the video gaming stuff of 4E, so what this is, what we're about to play, is a heavily modified version of 4E that's like makes it even more video gamey. It doubles down on it. I'm going to be trying to teach you guys the rules of it as we play. So normally I wouldn't stream this. I would say, hey, let's just sit down for a couple hours and teach you how to play. But I think it would be interesting, given that it's so house ruled, to share all that stuff. So the setting that we're about to get into, the thing that makes it fundamentally different from every other setting, for the most part at least, is that you are augments. In most games, you follow a character, and their most important choice is their character class. Like, are you a priest? Are you a healer? Are you a blaster character? In this game, your character class, your powers, your abilities, your race, they're bound into a magical artifact called an Augment that you equip and you inherit those powers. So you're not necessarily a level 5 rogue. You're somebody that found a level 5 rogue augment and gained all the powers. So it makes it kind of more like a superhero story. You kind of are a nobody that finds something that makes you a somebody, and you have like an origin story. So the 3 main things that are important to keep in mind with that is, number 1, you're not your class. Even if you're playing as a rogue, that doesn't mean that you grew up as a street rat and became a treasure hunter, or that if you're a cleric that you grew up in the church. 2, you guys are basically superpowered. In a lot of other settings, especially in like early Dungeons and Dragons settings, a player character was nobody important. They didn't have very high stats. They were just as easily killed as a Joe Schmo. In this game, augments are pretty rare, and you are among the select few that have them. So if one of you were like level 1, you could easily take on an army of non-augmented characters single-handedly. That's how much of a power difference there is. And then the last thing is that in this setting, death is permanent. There is no resurrection of any kind. If you die, though, you drop your augment that has all of your experience points, your skills, your abilities, your magic items, and somebody else can pick it up. And you basically control that character. So even though you die forever, you don't lose any of your choices or abilities. It lets you make some more sacrificial decisions. You can say, hey, I want to do this heroic thing and kill my character, but it's okay because Joe Schmo, the NPC, is going to pick up your augment and you can keep playing as them.
Hi, Andrea.
So,
hey.
Is that all?
Hi, Lisa, sister.
Hey.
We get half an Andrea.
Sorry.
Wait. Yeah, let me see if I can see the
I'm just
stream.
going to
so
sit here and eat
move.
my dinner.
That's
Listen.
cool.
Okay.
That's cool.
Okay, so other things coming up here. Even though this is mostly mechanics heavy, like I said, and it's very video gamey, the fun part of D&D is the invitation to do anything, right? That you can kind of sit down and just say what you want to do, and I'm not going to tell you, no, you can't do it. So that's still true. If you can imagine it, I'd like you guys to be able to try it. So if you guys say, hey, I want to try to swing on that chandelier, even though there's not an action that says swing on a chandelier, go ahead and ask me, and I'll try to make up rules so we can adjudicate whether it is successful or not. As a general rule, though, if the adventure's on map, if you see a map, if you see tokens and characters and powers and stuff, that means that I've prepared for it. And if it's not on map, we can still do that if you want to go left rather than right at the beginning. It's just going to be mostly improv, theater of the mind type stuff. And I'm not going to have prepared content for it, right? So if you want to get to the quality premium Marstead content, stay on the map if you can, but feel free to go off of it occasionally. Right.
I appreciate your undertones.
Yeah, and I want to make that really clear. I think that as a GM, if you're trying to do a more railroady prepared adventure, that you just tell the players what to expect. If there's a map for it, I prepared. If there's not, hey, we're just going to be talking out of our butts.
Fair.
In general, though, like when I ask you to play along, I don't mean that if I show you a locked door, if I show you a locked door, there's probably a key that I put somewhere for it, right? But I'm not telling you, oh, you have to go find that key. Like, you can try to bust the door down or pick the lock or find another way past it. What I am asking you to do, though, is if I have a big sign that says, hey, the adventure is this way, that you not say, all right, well, we want to burn down the town and go get drunk in the other half of the world. There are people that make games that do that, but that's not this game, if you guys can.
Literally, that's like, whenever I'm playing a like open world adventure game, or even like an adventure game, the first thing I do is turn around and go the other direction than what it faced me, just to see what's there.
You bitch.
So I'll try not to do that here. But like,
Okay.
that's all I do.
It's cool. I mean, still,
That's my favorite thing.
It's called
the fun of D&D is definitely outsmarting me and doing something I didn't expect. I have all this stuff planned out, and to completely wreck my plans is what your goal should be. But part of that is wrecking my plans within the context of the maps that I've set up, and not doing what we did. Okay, so the very last thing, I'm going to open this with a little cutscene teaser for the story. There's going to be some music and some pop-ups if you can read through them. And then we're going to get into just the tutorial adventure. It's going to be very story light. There will be some impact to the story later, but it's mostly just to teach you guys the rules. And if you guys have any questions, let me know. So if you guys are ready, I'll go ahead and pop those up here.
Yeah, let's do it.
Just me. Cool.
Classic Lisa.
Clapping.
Lisa, bring in the clap.
Bringing the clap to a town near you.
Dope track.
Twilight region. What? Whaler dog. Whoa.
Okay, I see a monster. You bitch,
Close those
Lisa!
pop-ups
Are you rolling your eyes at me?
You're remembering not having a seizure.
I don't know, it said roll the eyes in the back of my head, not roll my eyes at you.
You're a real bitch,
So it
Lisa.
just felt seizure-y.
You guys likely loaded into a black screen. You'll have to scroll down. Sometimes the maps always default to the top of the screen, so scroll around until you can see your characters at the bottom here.
Ah! That's me. Hey guys! Welcome to my whaling ship.
You got some Zelda-y things going
I
on.
hope that you, wait, are they on my ship or are we on the dock?
They are not on your ship. You're going back and
Okay,
you're
you guys
remembering
aren't allowed on
something?
my ship. It's
Question
my
mark?
ship, and if you ever go on my ship, I will fucking kill you. But
So you'll notice that your character tokens are a little bit different.
our
here.
palette
They've got
swapped.
their faces silhouetted and their palettes swapped, right? So
oh,
you're in kind of this like
Flashback,
dreamlike
guys.
state. There's a little bit of a haze everywhere. You recognize each other's augments, but you don't know who each other are. So you just kind of get this sense that you're working together to achieve some purpose. Before we start, though, that was supposed to be my story teaser for what you guys can start thinking about for your characters when we play the game for real, not just this tutorial adventure. Can one or all of you restate what happened in those cutscenes so I can understand what stuck with you and what didn't?
yeah.
Like, what's the setting that you guys are playing and what's
so a lot
going
of
on?
it was the background stuff that you sent us already about what our planet is and that it's Kyo and that half of it is night, half of it is dark. It's a 200-year rotation, so there's this edge of dawn, and everyone has to keep being a nomad, and that the whaler ship is heading to the edge of dawn because we're getting to the point where whales might be again. and that I was meeting
Lisa.
these
She's
guys
in charge.
because
Yeah, meeting up with us on her ship.
That was my.
Half is night, half is dark, half is light. Yeah, the idea
It's
is
like-
that
Half is light, half is dark.
Can
Yes.
I be the
The
Vin Diesel
moon
in
is-
this pitch black?
it's a moon of a gas giant, really far from the star. The moon is almost tidally locked, so it rotates so slowly that it takes about 200 years for a single day-night cycle
Nailed
to
it.
You nailed it, exactly. This is kind of a sci-fi fantasy setting. Most magical effects are connected to augments, which appear in be a form of ancient technology. There is a race of ancients that aren't around anymore.
Cool.
And we'll learn more about them later, potentially. Most of society is pretty medieval, though. You guys are special because you have your technological augments, but people have to keep picking up and moving every so often because the Nightlands come close. Okay, so here's how we play the game. In exploration mode, as we'll call it, when you guys aren't in danger, when your augments don't sense danger, we're not going to bother tracking turns
Cool.
or like actions. You just kind of just move around. I would ask
I
that
say
you
go
move
up.
around with the arrow keys rather than picking up your character and dragging them so you don't inadvertently reveal something. I'd also ask that you not like move up walls or things that don't look like it's obvious you should be able to move up because we're going to use skills to cover that. But go ahead and
You guys wanna pop
explore
up?
around, and if
I'm
you see
going up.
something interesting, let me know.
I'm making it.
Alright,
You guys are
I'm
following
going
me.
up.
Ooh,
There's
there's
no-
a door there.
Alright, guys, don't outrun the cameraman.
Be fear on Pope.
Okay,
Oh,
so I
I'm
guess
in
we
your
go
wall
in
on your
this. We
screen.
go in this.
Oh, that's
door,
cool.
Right?
Is that
Is that a door?
Is this
no,
a door?
this is this like a
You just see a hazy shadow in the distance there. There is a wall there that you could attempt to climb with an athletics check.
I see.
Well,
Well,
I mean,
the fact that I can't see it makes me want to climb up it. I can peek around it.
Ooh,
as
I
well.
have climb. I definitely want to do that. I'm
I
gonna
have-
climb
Just
up
walk
here.
here.
So shift, double click to get to your character sheet. Shift, double click your token.
Oh, I have my character sheet.
I'm
on
sorry.
the
It's
bottom.
okay.
It's over now.
Yeah, I
Shift,
have
double click your
climb.
token. Look down for your athletics roll, or if you have a special kind of athletics like climb, like Lisa
I
has,
have climb.
click the number next to it.
There's no
I
token
also
here.
have rope.
Matt.
I think, guys, I have climb
No
and
problem.
I have rope.
Shift this here.
What?
Shift
You
up
could do
to
both.
that.
I would be
I-
happy
I
to
don't
enable
know.
Right,
both
like,
of those things.
Oh, this is my token.
I could climb up there, and then I could send a rope down for you guys to make
I
you climb easier.
have grip. I can just grip onto it.
How
and
did you
can
bring
pull
up
me
your
out.
character sheet?
Okay.
I do it through this side. Thank
Oh.
you.
Goddamn kickstand.
So Lisa, go to your stats tab and go down to where it says climb and click the little number next
Over
to it.
there. Click on that.
This
Stats.
here?
12.
Oh yeah. So click on. Oops, sorry. You want to bring it out.
12?
Yeah.
Is that
You
click
click
on
the
it?
second tab.
Oh, it's a
and
7.
then click
It's
on
not
your
good.
guy.
I think it's actually the way that
That's the character sheet. You can pop it out.
Matt has it set up.
Left.
Okay,
What's that?
so the way that these rolls work, Lisa, you rolled a 19. You can see that in the chat, right? I secretly have a difficulty class or DC. That's the roll that you need to meet or beat in order to succeed on something. And in this case, I won't always tell you the DC, but in this case, it was a 13. So you beat it. You successfully climb up.
Crushed it.
I'll move you up here.
Oh, cool.
And you can use your rope or do other things or
Yeah.
explore more. It's up to you.
I'm gonna throw. Fuck you guys. No. I'm gonna use my rope. I'll click use rope. Is
Okay.
that cool.
So where are athletics?
Sure.
Too late. I did it.
So I was going to say, in this case, don't worry
Breathe.
about it. If there's not an interesting consequence for failure, I'm not going to bother making you guys roll. You have a rope,
Got
you
it.
use the rope, they climb up the rope,
Oh, okay.
everything's fine.
Oh, okay. Cool. Well, I rolled a 13, which I think is
Okay.
pretty good.
So
So yay.
all right. So she's up there.
You're all
we're
up there.
How do we all up there?
Because I showed my rope down.
Oh,
See the 13?
well, how do we know that we're good enough to climb up that rope, though?
He said it doesn't matter.
Where it's trivial, so
Okay.
if it's
So
trivial,
we
you
just
can
do
just
it.
do it.
Okay.
You can opt out of it. There's a
I-
rope that's
Guys,
down
I
there
hope
now. You can
beefy
go up
arm
and down it freely.
augment.
Guys, I
is
say we go down.
able to climb the rope,
I
right?
want to go down because
Down.
I'm
'Cause
starting to
'cause there's guys
uncover
there.
little
I'm
Mega
losing-
Mans.
I can't, there we go.
All right, so these
Mega
Dan
Dans.
Hibiki looking dudes, Lisa, you kind of recognize them.
Mega Mans.
They look like some of your crewmates, maybe. But again, this is sort of a weird, hazy, dreamlike world. So when you try to talk, weird mumbly noises come out of your mouth, and weird mumbly noises come out of their mouths.
Hey,
These are
buddies.
your allies, though, and they are not augmented. So what's important to keep in mind about them they have no stats. They have no hit points. If they are targeted by an ability, they die instantly.
So
You
they're
guys have
like-
hit points and stats and stuff.
They're like a stone that you can roll out of the way in terms of functionality compared to augments.
Yeah, like
Okay.
you might use them for some purpose, but you could
Oh,
ask
there
them to
were
help you
stairs.
with something. You can use them in combat, but they'll be
Okay.
following you around if it's relevant.
Guys, I found stairs. We could have done this really
No,
easier.
we couldn't have gotten to this.
I'm gonna go down the stairs now,
Okay.
just to prove that we could have easily gone.
Before I go down there, I'm gonna reach into my bag and pull out one of my 6 beers. and
Gentlemen, can I punch
open
one
it.
of these guys? I want to punch this first green guy.
I just
You sure can. He is dead.
no
Little
stop
ones
it!
cower in fear at you.
Don't.
Yeah.
Goddamn God among green mans.
Don't kill my people. We need those people for cannon fodder.
Maybe.
Those people
Jeez.
can suck a duck.
All right. Well, let me show you
I'm-
just how easily we. Oh my
I'm
god, it all
moving down the
connects.
stairs.
It totally connects.
Oh, does
I
it?
made the move. Yeah, we could have just
we
gone.
could have just looped.
Ooh.
You know what? I'm glad we climbed the wall. I think I found a spike pit.
Oh yeah, let's not go
You
down
sure
there. That
did.
looks
This would
terrible.
be. Well, what would you like to do with the spike pit?
Huh.
Can I pick up one of the other guys and throw them into the spike pit?
No.
Oh wait,
That sounds
guys, I have.
DPR and party!
I see. We can make.
No, but it looks like it's a wall on the other side of the spike pit, so I think it's
Well,
just instant
yeah,
death. Let's
Did you
ignore
remember?
Well,
to
okay,
pick
real
your rope
quick.
back up?
I should point out each of your
Oh, shit.
augments. So everyone in the augment campaign is a human. There are no dwarves or elves, but you have dwarf elf-like powers in your augment. Matt's augment, the red mage, is an elf, so it has dark vision, so he can actually see a little bit further than you guys can on his
Oh,
screen.
Yeah.
what do you see?
I can see spikes, and there's a wall on the other side of the spikes.
So let's not.
There's a lot of walls, but like, they go down more. Wait, let's.
Can you do like
You can
a-
walk right up to the edge if you want to, Matt.
Oh yeah, there is a path on the other side that I can see
Mhm.
from the edge here.
Well,
So
I'm gonna
I
use,
run. I
I'm gonna
run
use my
back.
grip strength to dangle myself over the edge, but not in
I-
the spikes. Just
Sidle
to get
across.
a little bit better. Well, just a little bit better view, and I have endurance, so I'm gonna hang out there.
Okay, go ahead and roll that check.
what?
You definitely did it.
Yeah, that's
did it with
good
one
enough that you could
hand?
sidle all the
You-
way over if you wanted to.
Oh sweet, I'm gonna sidle over.
Damn it.
So this is
Right.
D&D, right? My expectation is you're going to do a long jump. Just to give you an idea, do
No.
whatever you want. That totally works.
I'm
Great.
gonna grab. I'm gonna run back up the stairs
Okay.
and grab the rope that I forgot.
Okay.
I'm gonna
Okay,
grab it.
that's fine.
I grabbed it. I'm gonna run back down. I'm gonna say hi to my people. Hey, sorry that asshole killed one of you. Sorry. All right. I'm gonna run back over. I'm gonna is there
Wait,
anything on the ceiling
I've
that I
got-
can hold on, tie my
have-
rope to and Indiana Jones across?
Sure. Yeah. There's like a rocky overhang. That's
All right.
about
I'm
halfway
gonna
across.
throw. Wait. Do I have something in my inventory to be a pick?
Do your ruse rope skill.
Okay. Where's my ruse? Where is that?
Matt, what were you doing?
Oh, my use rope skill.
I was gonna suggest that I could throw my needle and thread, just the needle across, and you could catch it, and then tie your rope to it, and then I could pull it back over. I guess you could just throw your rope just as easily.
I'm just gonna throw
This
my
is
rope.
way more
I'm gonna
complicated
throw my
than it
rope.
needs to be.
I'm gonna use my rope. Oh,
All right.
nailed.
Matt catches it automatically, and you can make it across pretty easily using
Sweet.
Hiya! All right.
Alright,
So now Darcy is the only one who's not across.
I'm gonna look for ways around. Up top.
that. That works.
Okay. But ooh, no, wait. It's just it's a.
Oh, there's a treasure
No,
chest
you don't need to
here.
come over here. It's just a treasure chest. That's it.
Well, I want a piece of that shit.
Oh.
Well,
Stop
I'm
regarding
gonna-
that shit, you bolt.
Is it locked?
Can we open it? Oh, I have lock picks.
It is locked.
I have
yes.
lock picks. I have hairpins. Girls gotta have hairpins. I'm gonna use my hairpins to unlock this.
Make a generic agility check.
What's that? Oh no. Okay.
Remember, we have fun. This is different from 4E for people watching at home. We have fundamental skills that are just like strength, athletics, agility, dexterity, and so
I
on.
brought those hairpins for a reason.
And then characters can make up their own specialized
They're not.
skills.
No, those are
Lock-
literally in my inventory.
No, I know.
Oh.
But you're not the person that should be lockpicking.
Oh.
Idiots.
Yeah, you don't quite make it, Lisa.
I'm a
Goddamn.
rogue.
All right.
Alright.
So I want to pick up the pink guy.
That is through the power of Advanced Fog of War, Prop Cable. Pick up the pink guy. Got it. What are you doing with him?
I'm going to carry him to the hall.
Okay.
Hold
Bring him
on.
down with you.
I need to,
I'm gonna walk over to the hole to try to watch whatever's about to happen.
And then I'm going to throw him across the hole at Matt, who's watching it.
All right. So there's a concept that I'm borrowing from 5th edition D&D that I like very much. It's called Advantage. That means that you get to roll a d20 twice and take the higher result. So because you have a cool idea and you have a beefy arm, go ahead and roll athletics twice,
Beefy arm,
and we'll take whichever number is higher.
Right, so you do that in the
Good
character
idea
sheet.
and a beefy arm.
This character sheet down here.
Did you leave it open?
I don't know what he's planning to do, but
You get it from over there.
Planning to throw that guy at Matt.
Yeah, click on.
He's pretty
Yeah.
obvious.
Click on, yep. Click on your guy.
Maybe he's gonna see
That's
if Matt can
that's
catch the
character sheet.
guy.
You can pop it out like that to keep it open.
Okay.
Advanced Fog of War in the pro settings is really cool. That's what makes it so like parts of the map will
So you
gray
scroll
out when you're
all
not
over
close to
on
them.
this. So here's your skills. So what was the check that you need to roll, Dylan?
Athletics.
Athletics.
Twice.
So click that. Yep.
The bonus there
Yep.
Now,
And now you have to drag
You-
it
on the screen.
you didn't get around to making your specialized skills, Darcy, but if you want to do them on the fly, we can. So if you want, since you have a beefy arm, you could have one that's like toss friend as your specialized skill under athletics. 16 will do it though. He makes it across. I'll move him
Oh,
over
so-
here.
So there's a guy over here.
Well, he's gonna hit Matt for some. Probably kill him to death. I was hoping.
Wait, so are you not coming over here to get the treasure? Wait, don't
Well,
you
you
have
have
a
to
key?
throw me a rope.
Oh yeah, I have a random
Oh.
key in my inventory that I'm pretty sure is not for this chest, but I'm gonna try it anyway.
You're in
Bonus
kind of
on
a
the rogue thief.
a strange dreamlike state. So normally that would be true, but in this case, in fact, the key does open the chest.
Oh,
What?
sweet.
Okay,
Wow.
so you
Best
guys can
key
take
ever.
that any one of you would like to. I'll explain what it does.
Uh,
In the Augment system, not only are you guys super powered, you're also
Okay. Don't
basically
get the
super
next
rich.
Okay.
We're what? We're
You're,
rich.
you're also basically super rich.
Wow.
Basically, as an augmented character, you can 3D print or fabricate any mundane item you want. It just kind of takes an overnight process. You can't do so much that you're a factory. Like, you can't support a city, but you can make adventuring tools and food and things for yourself when you sleep. And the way you do that is with a kind of currency called resin that's everywhere. Everything can be reduced to resin with augments. Normal peasants use resin because it makes sense to be a currency. It's very valuable to elite people like augmented people.
Okay.
But you guys, if it's a very mild requirement, you don't really care about resin for the most part. So treasure generally doesn't interest you. In most D&D settings, you might be excited to find like a jade statuette so you could sell it and get some gold pieces. Here, we're going to kind of abstract treasure. You'll be able to turn it into resin at the end of the adventure, but in the meantime, it's just going to give you a temporary buff that you
Okay.
can use once per combat. So if you guys look at Matt's
Yeah, you
cards
got the
above his
treasures.
portrait there in the bottom left, you can click on the treasure and you can see what it gave him. It gave him +2 AP. AP are armor points, and it's a kind of temporary hit points that takes
Wait,
damage
I
before
clicked
the
on
rest
it.
of your health.
Oh, I tried to steal it.
So the AP, what was the AP plus 2? Extra hit points for...
It's temporary hit points above your HP maximum, so you take damage to AP before you take it to HP,
okay.
and you can choose when to turn that on. Any of you can do it. You're assumed to share treasure. It's once per event that you'll use it for the rest of this dungeon.
Is it like is it like an equipment that stays on? And like
It's
I
like a
can heal
temporary
back up
buff
to
that you can-
or does it like once
You
it
can
goes
choose
away,
to turn it
so-
on. So anytime you want to do it, I'll show you here. Suppose you turned it on right now, you would gain 2 armor points. So you see the little
Mhm.
bar under your green bar. There's a little bit of blue in there now.
Yep.
You'll take damage
okay.
to that first. It's sort of like shields in
I see.
Overwatch.
Gotta have blue bar.
Gotcha.
Gotta have blue bar. Okay, so let's get out of here. Let's keep going, because,
Okay.
you know.
You guys can
we're-
just move back across.
Oh, we can just do it? Okay.
Well, they're moving
I'm gonna
across.
hop down and sidle my way back over.
Dylan, can I
What are
use
you
my
doing, Darcy?
beefy arm to push the statue out of the way of the next stairs?
Yeah, go ahead and make a strength check.
Alright, so I go to my character sheet.
Yep.
I'm gonna not stand in the way of
And
that
then,
happening.
Yeah, right. Lose your blue bars already.
Yeah, right. Tips over on me.
So I've got is it an athletics?
Athletics is correct.
Okay.
Roll.
You said strength.
So that's not quite enough to make it there. You'll need help. So it's not
I'm
that
gonna-
you will never succeed, but someone else needs to also roll an athletics check, and maybe to combine it'll be enough.
I'll do it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Alright, so when I
That'll
click
do
it,
it.
it rolls, but it only shows up on Matt's screen. Does yours show
You
up?
have to turn it on there, I think, as well.
You should see the.
Dope.
You should be able to see it.
I
All right.
think you might
so
need
with
to
your
turn it
combined
on.
powers, you are strong enough to move it.
I didn't have to do anything.
Oh,
yeah,
enable
you're all
3D dice.
tired from sidling across a...
Yeah, I did a lot of sidling.
I'm doing it. Or do you want to go? This was your idea. After you.
Yeah.
It's my idea.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm saying after you. Go.
I want to open all the few treasure chests before they get up here.
No, that's... I was being courteous.
So
My
the
treasure
regular
chest.
treasure chests
Whoa.
you see around are they're the abstract loot that give you a temporary buff. Blue chests are real physical goods that augmented characters might care about. Even though you're super rich, what you guys crave are magic items. There are these special spheres that can slot into your augment. So in traditional D&D, it would be a magic item like a flaming sword. In this case, it's called an upgrade. You might get a +2 flaming weapon that will make any weapon you use be on fire, and it just slots into your augment all the time. If you die and drop it, somebody else picks it up. They still have the +2 flaming sword. So I'll show you guys how to get these. If you could each please pull up your character sheets and go to the inventory tab. I just want to explain what all these things are.
Oh, yeah, I'm in it.
Okay.
Oh.
So in the inventory tab, the first thing you'll see are resin. That's how much money you have. You think you each have about 1,000 mega resin. That's around the level of resin that you guys care about. Most peasants are dealing in killer resin and resin levels, and you don't even really give a shit about that sort of stuff.
Cool.
Your inventory slots are the things that you can craft overnight with your fabricators. So you can put whatever things you want in there as long as it's mundane and reasonable. Like, don't put a couch in there. And it can't be anything organic. It has to be inorganic, mundane materials. Your upgrade slots are actually the things you just found. There's a lot of things in there right now, but don't worry about them because they're complicated. We'll introduce what they really are later. But you'll notice, if you look where it says like where your weapon is, you click on the slot drop down, you can see all the different slots that magic items or spheres or upgrades can slot into. And you can only have one of each type in each slot. The thing to keep in mind is that you'll eventually be able to put one thing into each of these slots. The cube slots, though, are really mysterious. Every augment has 2 cube slots. They're cubes instead of spheres, but nobody knows what they do. So, spooky sound effect. And if you look below those guys, you'll see your gear slots. In the case of your augments, so you guys don't really physically go to a store and buy a broadsword. You just have a loadout called the broadsword loadout or the crossbow loadout. Basically, your augment crafts a weapon that you use, and you can switch between them freely. And this is just basic stats of like the armor that you have equipped, the sort of ammo you're using, and then those are modified by the upgrade slots.
Got it.
Beneath that are the weapons. Don't worry about that. That's just for doing math and Roll20. You can even just hide it if you click on the layer there. So these blue chests you just found, I'll go ahead and flip them. They're all kind of the same thing. You can each pick up one of them.
I want them all.
I took one.
You bitch.
I took one.
All right, and you can look at it in your inventory now.
Fabricator.
I didn't mean to steal that. You can undo that.
Oh, wait,
So the fast fabricator,
Okay.
they're all the same. Yep.
Gotcha.
This is a magic item that goes in your inventory slot, and it allows you to craft one mundane item instantly. Normally you have to do it overnight because it's like a 3D printing process, but if you suddenly need a torch or something, you can just make one. Each of you can do it once per event.
Got it. Okay, cool.
Cool. So you can continue to explore.
Wait, by once per event, you mean like once per session or per...
That's a fantastic question. Yes.
Okay.
So in this
What's an
system,
event?
an event is one challenge. So like you guys exploring this area is an event. Combat encounter is an event. It's going to be on me to decide what's an event and what's not, but it's just kind of a nice abstraction to say, hey, you can't just sit there for 10 hours and just make a stack of
bunch of
couches to
stuff.
climb up. Yeah.
Okay, fair.
So I'm going to explore this room a little bit to make sure that there's not more to it.
Wait, where'd
Sure.
you go?
He's over on
Oh,
the
he
right
went
here.
this way.
So I think
Can I see
that all
further than
there is
everybody?
going up
Yeah.
these stairs. So I'm going to get to the top of the stairs and stand in the middle.
Oh, I know.
Okay.
I know this temple. Are we gonna fight that guy?
I'm going to push Matt
It
down
jumps
the
around.
stairs.
Oh, is this
Great.
from like
You
this
guys
little-
going inside?
I'm going to push
Oh,
Matt
it's
down
an
the stairs.
inside. Yeah, we're going inside.
I'm gonna use my grip before he pushes to
We're
We're
grab him.
inside. Oh wait, those are our people. Oh wait, are there more
Alright.
people?
Yeah, so you
Yeah,
get inside.
dude.
These are some more of your friends. You've got quite a few of them with you here today. And you see this kind of electronic trap in front of you. One of them gets really excited and say, "Look, boss, I'm gonna explore." And he moves into the trap, gets zapped, and dies and turned to ash instantly, and that scares the rest of your little friends.
We don't want to fuck with that.
That's what happens when you have thoughts of your own, people. Ha!
More like sheep. Lisa, let's go left.
Alright, I'm gonna not walk into that.
Left sounds good.
Like our hands. There's not much.
I'll
to
put it
the
in the...
Okay, it's
more like lame.
Is this a
This might be a puzzle with these two statues. Well, let's go right now.
Okay, yeah, let's go right.
Pretty
Bye,
sure
Turner.
there's not gonna be anything to the right because
No,
I know this doesn't.
Yeah, this is from a
So we have to push
Zelda
these stupid
play.
statues in front of the things
There's
on the
some
wall.
stuff moved around. It's nice.
Okay, I inspect the statues. Is there anything I see?
Lisa, let me inspect the statues because
Okay. Matt inspects the statues.
Lisa, you can't do everything. Okay.
You guys can both do it.
Okay. Yeah, I'm
If
just
you
gonna
want,
do
it's
it.
called
You
a
know what,
perception
Lisa?
check
Go
in this
ahead.
case.
I'm just gonna do it better.
I'm gonna inspect the statues too.
Can
Everyone
I
can do these.
Use one finger on my beefy arm to
Sorry,
touch
I'm
the
coming up with
electric
all the
thing.
good ideas, Matt.
Yeah, sure.
I wish to use one
you-
finger on my beefy
you
arm
take-
to touch the electric fence.
You take 1 point of damage, and the electric fence kind of fades out for a couple seconds and then comes back into play. So to take 1 point of damage, click on your character, look at the little green orb above your head, and type -1 in it, or just type in the new hit point total.
So 51 to 50.
Yeah.
Dudes.
And that would be
Wait,
that's
wait.
enough to
Guys can
kill
run
those
through the
little
hole.
guys, but
All right. I'm going to use my excellent vision perception to examine these statues for any small details
Okay, fine.
go for
that
it.
might.
Does that flash what they can see?
Yeah.
So
Can
they
see
can
what they
see
can
the
see.
thing that they should be
Black
paying
Dragon
attention
beats.
to.
Well, it doesn't show them stuff that's on the GM layer.
What's the GM?
It's stuff that I have hidden that they can't see. All right, that is an excellent perception roll. You do see a small recess on the left statue in the middle of its eye. Something that you can kind
I'll
of...
put my dick in it.
Push it. Okay.
Roll dick in its eye. What do I roll for that?
Yeah.
You can just do
Agility?
Agility.
So it fit in the
As you
small,
do, the trap
very
fades
small
away.
recess that I needed
Oh, wait,
incredibly
did it work?
good vision to
Oh,
see.
it worked.
Yeah,
Guys.
no, it's not a girth
Guys.
thing. It's a length thing with the rogue.
Guys. It looks
He,
like this
he's very
thing's on a
sneaky.
button
You don't
and
even
it
feel him
scares me.
inside you until it.
I think
Okay.
when we lift this, we're gonna fight something or something. There's a button. I don't like it.
Mine's at
Lisa,
the door.
you're the tank. Pick the thing
How
up.
do you know
Oh,
there's
I
a
am.
button?
I don't know. It's a different color than the rest of the floor.
Wait.
Come on, you've played a Zelda game.
Well,
But that's
it's
a pot.
It's just a pot.
All right.
We're gonna
Well,
break
I
that
pick up the perfectly round pot that seems to have a perfectly square base that's not a button.
Woo-wee! We're putting dicks in eyes, picking up round pots.
What did we do? What
America.
happened? Wait, did I pick it up?
Oh, yep.
Oh,
All right, so I would like you guys to roll initiative. To do that, go into your character sheets,
yeah. Stats.
find initiative under stats, and click on it.
Hold it now.
Initiative. Wait, where's that?
If you look at your character sheet, it's under stats. It's in the
Got it.
top right under defenses. All right. Oh my god.
Wait, I don't
it's-
have initiative. Do I?
Click on
So I put-
stats.
I
You
can-
see
wait,
hit
oh, I
points
see
in the
it.
top
Section.
left.
I found it.
I click the score here.
I got it.
Everybody, please click initiative. This will determine the turn order.
18 bitches.
18.
That's mine.
Oh, that's yours? Wait, where's mine?
That clicked again.
I don't know.
There it is. Oh, 11.
There we go.
Is that mine?
And then Dursey still has to roll.
So just click it, right?
Yeah, you click on that.
Yep.
And then you might need to drag on there. Oh, I don't know.
Mine doesn't need
If
to
you just
drag.
click the button on the left
There you
side,
go. Oh, there you go. Now you drag and roll.
Oh, I guess I had like last note or something.
there you go.
What you got?
Okay, so
11.
you should now also have a pop-up that shows the turn order, and I'm going to explain a bunch of basic stuff about combat before we get started here.
Last.
So first of all, you see all these enemies just spawned, right? I hope you can see all of them down here.
Oh, I see
Are they
some of
below
them.
us?
Oh
Okay,
my
these fell
God,
from the
Oh, yeah.
ceiling and fell on the ground and a squishy sound. When your augments detect danger,
I
time
hate
slows down
snakes.
for you, such that you experience time in little 6-second bursts that we're going to call rounds or turns. So during this period, you can't move your characters around freely. You can't take actions freely. We'll move from
Got
character to
Got
character.
it. So I'll move back to where I was.
The first idea you should know is that these creatures are called minions. They're minions because their background is orange instead of red. And because they're minions, that means they're just like unaugmented characters. They have no hit points. They have no stats. If you look at them, they die. If you move through their space, they die. So all you have to do to kill them is just kind of move through their spaces.
Can they hurt you?
Yes, if you look at the turn order, minions always act on initiative count 10, and they don't bother with rolling. They just automatically do whatever it is they do for free to anything that's adjacent to them.
Cool.
So this minion does 1 damage, and it has no special features. There might be minions in the future that do special things. Because you guys are augmented, you're super fast. Most of the time, minions don't move. The main reason for that is that there's like 50 guys on the screen, and I don't want to move all of them. That would be a pain in the ass. But occasionally, if there's a few enemies left, maybe they'll move occasionally. It's only real enemies that aren't minions that will be able to move in the future.
Okay.
I'm trying to think if there's anything else you need to know. Okay, last thing is that if you move, everybody threatens squares around them, because even though we're moving in terms of turns, you can still react to things that happen next to you. So like, for example, let me just move Matt's character down for a second. You threaten every adjacent square around you. So this like red triangle around you, if
That's
a
not a
monster
triangle.
moves...
That's a square.
I'm sorry, square, my bad.
You're a
By
square.
triangle, I meant square. If a creature moves out of your threatened space or tries to do a ranged attack within your threatened space, you automatically get what's called a reaction attack against them. You just get to roll an attack and try to hit them. And the same thing is true for all of these minions. So if you move past a minion without killing it, at the end of your turn, it'll get a chance to do damage to you. So just try to keep that in mind as you fight them.
Okay.
Now, on each of your turns, you can do 3 things. You can interact with something, which is just kind of a small, mundane task, like stepping on that button, or picking up a vase, or sheathing your weapon, or taking your weapon out. You can move, which is the second kind of action, and you can each see how many squares you can move. If you look in your character sheet, go to the stats tab and scroll down to where it says movement. It gives you a speed. That's how many squares you can move on a turn.
7.
Yep.
Oh, my cat just like climbed up my leg with claws.
Hi, Turner.
Did not feel good.
So Matt should be able to move 7, Dursey
I
should be able to
can
move
7,
6, and Lisa can
it's
move
my
5.
turn, right?
Oh, I
That's
can move
correct.
5.
Okay.
And then the last thing is you have a standard action is what it's called, and that's for doing most things in the game. If it's not simple like an interact action and it's not moving, it's probably a standard action. So if you guys each click on your character and you look, there's a little macro in the top left corner. Matt has Break Blade, Dursey has Riposte, and Lisa has Shield Bash. What those symbols mean, the star means that it's an at-will power. It's a basic power. You can use it whenever you want. It doesn't have a cooldown.
I'm lost.
The little place symbol means it's a standard action, so you use it at the end of your turn. Or actually, you can use a standard action whenever you want. It doesn't necessarily have to be at the end of your turn. And then the swords mean that it's a melee attack, so it hits enemies that are in an adjacent square to you. So you can go ahead and act, Matt.
Okay. So I'm gonna move first. I can like move and then do something and then continue moving, right?
That's correct. So if you would be so kind, if when you move your character, what you can do is you can kind of pick them up and then press the space key to specify exactly the path you're taking, and then tap space at each square you move to show your waypoints. So I'll do it with Lisa's character here. I'm doing space, space,
So
space,
like
space,
this?
space, space.
Oh. Oh.
And I can tap on the
Wait.
character after the fact to see what they just did.
How did you do that?
Oh, I see.
Click and
So
hold your character, tap space to start waypointing, and then tap space on each square
I'm
that
just
you
gonna
move
move
to,
it
so
out,
we can
right?
see exactly
okay,
how you
okay,
Hold
okay,
character.
okay.
Hit space.
Oops, sorry. We're doing it
start
both on the same
waypointing,
character.
and then I click on. Oh, then I just move him like normal.
Mhm.
Like so. Okay, I get that. And then how do you see where they were before?
You tap space on them again, and it'll show you what their last move was.
Got it.
Ooh, Tootsie Roll initiative. Let me see that Tootsie Roll. That Tootsie Roll.
So like,
And then if
my
I click
character-
again, so now you can see that route that I just did.
It should show you the route, but I think that you ended your movement too many times, but I think I saw it, so
Okay.
you could try
but
doing it again.
I'll
here.
try doing it again.
Good to
just
know how to
because
do it now.
I was up here actually, I think,
Yeah.
when combat started, so. Hit space. 2, 3, 4. 7.
Yep.
And then I want to use Break Blade on this guy.
Perfect. You see a little blood effect. Now, whenever you use a melee
Nice.
attack, if you're fighting minions, it automatically kills all minions that are adjacent to your target. Also, I should say that your NPC allies are also minions, and if minions are in the same square as each other or they're next to each other, they're like antimatter. They just annihilate each other.
Okay.
So your
they're
sailor
all-
friends all die.
Troll
and clear them out
all
here.
initiative. Rolling in
This
the
guy
deep
dies, this guy
initiative.
dies.
Cool.
And that's the end of your turn, Matt. Now it is the rogue's
Sorry.
turn. You do your scene.
So I click my guy.
Uh,
I hit space. I don't know if it's tracking me.
yeah, it is. Oh.
Yeah, you hit space once. I think Matt was hitting space twice, and you can just put each point on a path, and then you can let go and hit space at the end to finish the movement.
So wait, I'm going back here. Right? I click my character.
Yeah, click and hold, tap space,
Girl.
and then drag him one square and tap space once, one square and tap space again, one more square, tap space again, and so on. And you'll see little waypoints along the way.
That's 3, 6, 4. I lost one. 5.
That's okay.
I'm just gonna put him into the mix of the crowd then.
Do I hear
That's
tiny
that.
baby yelling cows?
And then
Yep.
how do I?
She's got her animal book.
I'm gonna be there.
Then go ahead and activate your power. Just target the one that you want to attack with it. So click on the riposte ability and pick one.
Yeah. What do I have to do to get the riposte back up?
Click on your guy.
Click on my guy.
It should just be there.
Let's go back up here.
You shouldn't have to scroll like
I'm
that.
having like scroll
You're,
problems.
hit maximize on the window. It's like
So,
and
Do
now
I,
you just click on a guy. Yeah.
anyone at random, or is it better street?
Probably that guy because he's got the most guys around him. He'll kill everything around it dies.
What? That's
There
a
you go.
lot of dice.
Yeah. So most of the dice rolling and effects of attacking against minions doesn't matter. Like, you're not going to give them cards because they died right away. It doesn't matter how much damage you did because they die right away. But it still is included in the macro. So,
There
Can you-
go. That's what
Can you use that one more time, Darcy, so I can see which one you targeted?
Yeah, it was the guy.
directly to his left.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, and now it's Lisa's turn.
Yay!
The dragoon.
Rogue.
Would the one
Alright.
directly below him die as well? If diagonals count?
I only have 5 moves,
Yes,
right?
diagonals do count. You're correct. Diagonals count the same even for movement. You
That's
get
the
5
extra
squares. That's
kill.
correct, Lisa.
Alright, I think I'm gonna go this way. I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4.
How is that one?
Isn't it? They said diagonals. 1, 2.
Diagonals are fine.
okay.
3,
Yeah, as long as you're not crossing a wall.
Gotcha. Okay.
5.
Cool.
And then I'm going to shield bash this mamma jamma.
Okay.
And do I click shield bash?
Yep, shield bash and then pick your target. But remember, Lisa, before you do that, that when you use a melee attack against a minion, it automatically kills all adjacent minions.
Noted.
Should do that.
I'm gonna kill this one.
All right. Now,
Ugh,
as an additional
critical
benefit,
fail.
shield bash, it doesn't matter against minions. You always hit for free. But
Thank
the
God.
macro
I
works the
slipped on
same.
a banana peel and it still died.
Can only
You'll
barely
notice
see what's
that
happening over here.
Shield bash pushes the enemy one square, and we can still do that with minions. So what's going to happen is the minion's going to get pushed back this way diagonally, and then it's going to kill everything around it there as well.
What?
So you're actually pretty good at killing minions. And then you can shift into its old space if you want to. That's up to you. Do you want to?
Ugh. Now I feel bad because I left this one.
You're just gonna run around all the time.
You know,
No,
yeah.
I'm trying
You
to
know,
figure out
I'm
how
gonna
to use
shift
the
into
space.
it, and like that's
It's
gonna be
not
their problem eventually because they can
properly
move
being
more than I can.
Thing.
Okay, so you'll take the shift.
Yeah.
Cool.
Where you going?
I'm trying to figure out. how
Minions
make
get to
space
act.
for
You
it
guys
for me.
take damage from the reaction attacks from the turn and from the minions you're currently adjacent to. So, Darcy, where were you at the actual start of your turn there?
He's
I was
right
down here.
Down there? Okay, so you take 2 damage from the 2 adjacent minions. No one else is adjacent to a minion, so you guys are fine. That's the end of their turn, and it's Matt's turn again, but let me give you all new powers now, so that you're not just using the one ability. So, Matt, you just got a skill called Blind. If you click on your character, you should see it now. And here's a card as a reminder if you want to see what it does. Dursey, you're about to get Dart. You can go ahead and take that card. This is introducing your first ranged abilities. All of these are ranged that I'm giving you right now. And then, Lisa, you get Jump.
Yeah! Jump.
Range 10, so that's pretty far.
Yep. So the range tells you how many squares away from you can target. And there's a special rule with ranged attacks versus minions. If you choose not to move on your turn, you can stand still and take aim and kill a number of minions within your range equal to your movement speed. So if you used Blind, you could hit one enemy within 10 squares and then an additional 7 enemies because your speed is 7. You're basically sitting there and firing at 7 of them with your Blind spell. And then each of you have some additional powers with it. You won't be able to blow up everything adjacent to it like you can with melee powers.
Got it.
Alright.
So I feel like because there's so many, I'm gonna keep.
I
using my
can
shield
wipe
bash.
out this whole cluster right here, and then I can go after this one. So I'm gonna start. We can do mundane things, right? So I'm gonna first reach into my bag and grab a beer and open it.
Can I have one? Can I?
Yeah, you can have one of the beers out of my bag.
Throws a beer.
I throw it.
He throws it across the entire dungeon.
I opened it already, but I put a good spin on it.
So all of it stays in.
Wouldn't all of it come out?
Stays in.
It's spinning
Andrea.
to keep it in.
Stays in.
Makes perfect sense.
Okay.
Okay, so I think I'm gonna. So I would just get to fire at 7 things within that 10 range. If I was.
Yeah, total of 8 actually, because you pick one and then you add another 7 things you can kill within 10.
Damn.
Oh, wow.
Damn.
I'm gonna do my best.
You should just do the one over there so that Dursey has his turn next
Alright,
so he can
I
handle
think I'm
that.
gonna do some walking and probably 1 firing. Okay, so I'm gonna start moving. 1,
I'm gonna kill
2.
this guy.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Do it. My goodness.
Get in there. Get in there.
Woo wee.
Well, yeah, but okay, yeah. Okay, 3, 4, 5.
They do like 1 damage.
6.
Down.
7.
To pump them out. Yeah.
I'll take 1 damage from that guy.
Well, can't you tell?
But I'm probably gonna kill up here with blind because
Now, the take aim ability only works if you, for any movement squares you didn't use out of your speed. So you can't both move and blow them up.
Right.
So now that you've used all 7,
yeah, I have
you can
one
hit
blind,
1.
right? Yep, that was my plan. So now I will target.
Okay.
Actually, I might just.
Is that specific to Matt?
No.
Nope, that's true for everybody that has a ranged ability.
So, despite my ranged ability, I'm going. Would the ranged ability also have the same effect of killing things nearby?
Oh.
No, that's only melee.
Okay. That balances it a bit. I was like, this seems just overpowered. I'd kill them all.
So
if I can
my
see them.
thing has a range of 3, and I have a move of 5, so I could move 2 and then use the range of 3. If I move 3, I can only use 2.
Yeah,
that's correct.
So for this turn, at least, I'm just going to break blade that guy next to me.
Okay. So as you walk past,
will kill both of them, right?
Oh, because you break bladed. Yes, that's correct.
Yeah.
Now, you move past this enemy, this enemy, this enemy, this enemy, and this enemy without killing them, so they are going to reaction attack you for 5 damage. So I'll just apply that here.
I see. Because I got close. Did you deduct it already? Yeah. Okay, cool.
Dursey, if you'll look at your new power card, Dart, it says that during the attack you can shift 2 squares. Shifting is the same thing as moving, except you don't provoke reaction attacks when you do it. So it just lets you move an extra 2 squares without things hitting you when you move past them.
For my education, can I dart the purple and orange noodles to my left and then shift out to safety?
Very possibly. Let's see what the range is on it. So if I look at your power text there, oops, I didn't mean to steal it. It's a range 5, right?
Where's range?
So you could.
You're saying range 5 is that 3?
Dart range.
Yeah,
3.
so you can, if you click on the ruler, you can see how many squares something is away from you by clicking on it and then dragging it to the target in question. So if you find something within 5 squares.
Where's the ruler? I see.
It's below the magnifying glass.
Outrageous.
It's in your toolbox.
So yeah, I'm gonna. It's kind of janky here.
Alright, I'm gonna go watch
Well,
women
it
die
doesn't.
Have
and
fun.
then have people figure out who killed them.
Yeah.
Wait, what show? What show?
Criminal Minds!
Oh, cool.
I love that
It's like
show.
not picking up.
Andrea,
But
What?
I'm not free Thursday anymore because we're gonna go see Black Panther, or Friday, but I'm free Saturday morning.
Dylan, I'm gonna
Saturday
throw
Okay.
at the.
I'll see if I can make that
thing
happen.
on my
Or
left.
Saturday night.
That's 2 squares
Okay.
away.
Yep.
And then I'm gonna move
Alright, have
2
fun.
squares
I'll just
up
call-
to get
I'll
away
call
from
you
you
at
guys
some
on my right.
I'll call you.
Okay, sure.
Goodbye.
So, to move myself, I click myself and hold shift.
Laptop came unplugged.
Oh.
Go ahead and trigger your dart ability on the enemy you want to kill really quick.
Alright, hold on.
I guess first switch off of the ruler and go back to the
Arrow?
cursor. It's in the top left, yeah. And then click your character and activate dart, and then pick the enemy you want to kill with it on the far left there.
Hold on. There's some.
I left one minion just hanging out. See him? Just sit
I
there.
do see him.
I'm gonna clear these guys now.
It's
I'll go back and jump at him.
not really wanting to do anything.
Did you click on the enemy? It might say choose target.
It's telling me to click token on screen to choose the target, and I'm clicking.
Try scrolling the screen. Yeah, he was
Hey, it
tucked
worked.
under
Okay,
Something else. I think it was like tucked under the
Ah.
UI.
So you've done that. You can now still choose to move up to your speed of 6 squares, and you can shift 2 squares on top of that. So you can move a total of 8, and 2 of them won't have any reaction attacks on you. So do that whatever is you think is most efficient for killing things.
Next to you.
So I click myself, I hold shift.
You tap space.
Yeah, click myself, tap space. And that's 3 there.
Yeah.
And then I can tap
Yep.
space again to do that.
Yep.
Cool. Hero.
And you can get the rest of them.
Wait, can I attack
You
again?
still have one. You have 1 more square of movement, and you have 2 more squares of shift. So you can still move 1 more space and shift 2 more spaces if you want to.
Alright, then I'll just shift down to his, and
Nice.
then I'll get myself a little bit away from anything for whatever reasons.
Cool.
Okay. Lisa, it is your turn. What do you do?
Yay! So I'm going to move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I'm going to shield bash this Mamma Jamma.
That seems correct, doesn't it? All right, because he's
does.
going to pop up and blow everybody up. Good job, Lisa.
Yeah!
The minions' turn, they're not adjacent to anybody, so nothing happens. And you guys have... So usually, when you do a combat, it's going to be in addition enemies that aren't minions. And if you get down to where there's just minions left, we're just going to assume that you're going to clean them up as efficiently as possible. But you've learned everything there is to learn from this encounter. I assume that on the remaining turns, you just kind of mop up the remaining enemies since there's no danger. Good job.
Cool!
Alright, question.
I appreciate that.
So Matt
Sure,
took
what's your
green light
question?
damage, but he had blue shield. Should that shield have gone down to 0 and he should have 48 green hit points?
You are correct. That is 100% right.
Oh,
Please help
snickety
people on top of
snap.
that.
I'm learning.
You are learning.
Oh, shit.
Hi, Turner!
Cool.
I was just thinking about how I missed having a cat sitting on me.
Hey, yo, dudes, check out your doors.
Whoops.
What? Oh, yeah. Wait, do we all check out our own doors?
No, I checked out the middle doors closed.
Alright, the
Oh,
left
mine-
door's
Left is
open.
open.
Mine's open, too.
We should stick together because
What do you guys want to do?
I'll come over to you,
Let's
Matt.
go over the right door.
Oh, I should
All the cool kids are
specify
over here.
that in the augment system, all of your abilities come back if you used any cooldown powers, and all of your hit points come back, and you get a full heal for free at the end of every combat. So
Oh,
you
cool.
guys
Oh,
are
cool.
topped off again.
There you
Sweet. I didn't
Homies.
need topping off because
Lefty
I
Lucy,
didn't get
righty
hurt.
tighty. We
Uh-huh.
want to play tight or we want
Yeah,
Alright.
Lisa, you did that
Play
optimally.
tight.
Very
Play
proud.
tight.
Yes.
We're playing tighty?
You guys are all going in that door on the right.
Yeah,
Yes.
we're all going in the right door. To the right.
Do I have moments
Ooh, there's
with which I can make a
bones.
There's a
leverage?
pot. I want to go.
I'm just gonna
I'm
look
gonna
at the
go
room.
examine this pot.
Okay, there's 4 pots. Oh, it looks like it's the boss. The
Dude,
This is the boss. boss
There's a
room.
treasure chest.
I'm freely walking around this room to see what's the dealio. Wait, where do you see a treasure chest?
Lower left-hand corner.
Oh.
Oh, that sounds way more interesting than whatever.
Wait,
Dylan, I always
no.
throw open the treasure chest before they get there.
No, you don't. There's no treasure chest.
There's no-
That's one of the treasures you have in your inventory. It's
Oh,
leaking
my
onto the
screen's
map.
stupid.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
your turn order's in the way. I think. Double click the turn order and it makes it like smaller.
I just moved turn order.
Well,
Guys, let's all lift different pots.
I want to
I'm
get
gonna
the
go
top
up here.
left-hand corner because I'm top left-handed.
Okay, I'll stick to the one I'm standing next to, which is the bottom.
You guys get the
On
right
the
ones
left.
because you're right-handed.
Alright.
And when a
Okay.
cashier
fine.
hands you a pen to sign something, you don't know how awkward it is for them to try to put in your wrong fucking writing hand. You don't know that fucking pain.
I
You don't know what I've been through. You know what my people have been through. Fuck you, Lisa.
It's okay. I actually think I was supposed to be left-handed, and then I went to Catholic school. Like, I do all sports and stuff left-handed.
Alright,
I can write with my
I'm
left
gonna
hand.
lift up this pot on the left.
Wait, hold on. Before
Oh,
we lift
thanks,
up
Well,
the
I'm
Prof. I
next
just
to
saw
it.
it. Optimal Lisa. So optimal. I want a gold star. What do we do? Oh, they're all gonna come. All these little bone guys are gonna come to life, aren't they?
Ah, we should have pooped in the pots, you idiot. Why were we trying to lift them? We could have made them heavier with our poop.
It's alright, it's just minions.
Oh, I knew it. No, it's
All right,
not. It's
so-
bone people.
It is minions. They are orange. You're correct.
Oh, right, because they're
Now-
orange.
Introducing a new concept called a surprise round. Surprise round happens when the enemies attack before you're aware of them. So it also can happen if you guys attack an enemy before they're aware of you, if you manage to sneak up on them. So these minions have a special ability.
Okay.
They do 2 damage instead of 1 damage, and on their turn, they throw their head up to 5 squares, dealing 2 damage to whatever they hit.
Oh,
My
The minion
I am
destroyed, its
some
head is left
head rage.
behind, which continues to deal damage until destroyed.
Oh, so it's
So
a double
here
hitter.
comes 1, 2, 3. Oops.
Well, suck a duck.
Yeah, Matt just got surrounded.
Good thing we all spread out so that all of us can get hit with different heads. This is great, you guys. I had some good ideas.
All right.
Here I thought we
So
were going to be
Lisa
efficient
takes-
and get rid of all the pots at once.
You take 6 damage. If you can click on your little green bubble and type -6. Matt, you take
Yes.
6 damage, and Dursey takes a whopping 10 damage.
Well, that is
Jesus.
wax sauce.
Waxy.
Now- Under normal circumstances during a
Oh, wait.
surprise round, you have advantage
This is
against
gone.
any enemies that haven't acted. So if they're not in the surprise round, that means you get to roll everything twice and take the higher roll. But they're minions, they don't roll, it doesn't matter. I'm also going to give you all each 1 new power and introduce a new kind of action. So give me 1 sec.
Ooh.
This one is yours. Matt?
Does that blue that I had
Aw,
from way
Turner.
earlier come back
so
after the
cute.
last battle, or is that gone?
Yep,
because it got-
it'll
Yeah,
last
look
for the
how
dungeon,
cute
so
my
you can go
cat
ahead and
is.
apply it again if you want to.
Okay, I would have wanted to.
Lisa, this card's for you as well.
Thing.
That should be there.
Turner's being.
Oh,
Okay,
I got a card.
so-
and I didn't look at it at all.
Holy shit, a cat.
If you all look at your new card,
My
every
goodness.
character in the game, every augment has access to an ability called Second Wind. Second Wind is special in that it uses something called a bonus action, which is a new concept. So normally you just have interact, move, and standard. You also have different types of bonus action. There's maneuver bonus action, there's job bonus actions. The idea is you can only use one of each type of bonus action per turn. So if you had something else that used a maneuver bonus action, you couldn't do both that and Second Wind. But if you look at Second Wind, what it says it does is it recovers 1 surge of HP. So if each of you would shift double click your characters and go to the stats tab, and look in the very top left corner around where your hit points are, you'll see
yeah.
2 values there. One of them says bloodied and one says surge value. Do you guys see those?
Yeah.
Okay. Bloodied is half your hit points, and it's just a status. When you get to half health, you're bloodied, and there's certain abilities and powers that trigger based on that. Surge value is how much you heal when something tells you heal 1 surge of HP. So second wind makes the rogue and the red mage both recover 12 hit points, and the dragoon you heal quite a bit more, I think, because of your bonuses.
Bitches.
Yeah. That's about 1/4 of your max HP.
Nice.
So most healing in this system scales with your maximum hit point total. Anyway, that's it.
What's
Go
debuff
ahead.
cards?
Oh, if you
It
had
says-
Those will come up
poisoned or
later.
something.
Oh, okay. Cool.
You haven't had to deal with them yet, but they will come up soon.
Cool. I'll ignore
you
gotta
gotta
buff
them.
your
win,
debuffs.
get rid of them.
I'll ignore them.
So each of you go ahead and roll initiative again. It's a new combat.
Yeah.
Minions are still going to act on initiative count 10.
Oh, I see. They all got to go because of their thing.
Wait, you attempted to use a roll
Right.
command looking for the Oh, I'm not selected.
Yeah, make sure you select yourself.
There we go. 20! A 20!
Oh, you got a natural
A fat
20. Nicely done.
dude. What?
I got 17.
Dude, I
I got
just
7.
wrecked whatever. I just
And
took initiative.
I got 7.
you got a natural 20 and Dursey got a natural 1. That's what that looks like.
Oh, you
Yeah,
did
one
not
to
take
one.
The
any
roll is green
initiative.
versus red.
Oh.
Okay, so Lisa, you get to go first with your natural 20. What do you do?
Oh, that's what it is.
You're lucky you weren't trying to do something with that roll. Because it would have failed
I
hilariously.
think what I'm gonna do is probably keep up with this
RNGesus.
shield bash nonsense. Wait, is this pot still here? Can I pick up this pot and throw it at them?
You sure can. That would be cool.
I pick up a pot and I throw it at this guy.
All right.
What do I
Because
roll?
that was cool, you do some extra stuff with it. So you hit it so hard that it goes flying backwards and hits the enemies that are around the red mage.
You're welcome.
Nice. Thanks, Lisa.
That was your... We'll call that an interact action for the turn.
Sweet. So now that I was getting sassy, I guess I'll walk a bit. So I'll step on. I'll grab me. I'll step here. Wait. Sorry. I got this. I'll step here, and then I'll step here,
Mm-hmm.
and then I don't know. I'll step 3, 4, 5, and then I'll just stop there, and I'll just hang out in
Okay.
the middle of the room with my hands
you
in
wanna
my
use-
pockets.
Do you want to use second wind, jump, or shield bash?
No. I mean, I guess I could use second wind, but like I get 18 back, and I'm only down 6, and it just feels like a waste.
We should at least kill the guy
That's-
next to you.
Wait, there is no guy next to me.
Wasn't there?
His head is like.
There is one.
Oh wait. Oh, there is.
He's still an enemy.
Oh,
Yeah, they
right,
each
right,
count
right,
as
because
having
their
2 hit
heads are
points,
different.
basically.
Oh, right. Their heads are different from their bodies. Oh, well then, I'm gonna use jump because I haven't yet.
Jump on it.
Go for it.
I'm gonna jump on this MFR. Not a great jump. It was my first jump. You know.
It's better
He's
than-
no more.
It's never
Doesn't do any
perfect
damage
the
to
first
you.
time. Practice.
All right, Matt, it's your turn. What do you do?
Cool. So I am going to...
Wait, where's all the guys that tried to kill you? You just like...
Lisa
I
threw
threw
a pot,
at one of their
them
heads, and he went spiraling
flying
into all of them and
back.
killed them all.
So I'm gonna
Bitch.
try to blast some
I did
guys.
cool
Oops.
stuff.
I didn't mean to target myself with that. Pretend I targeted this guy over here.
Click and hold for it to ping it, and I can see
Okay, yeah, this guy.
this guy. Okay,
Yeah.
he's dead.
Right.
And now you can target 7 more within 10 squares
Right.
of you.
So I'll do this one, 2, and this one, 3. Is it 10 squares that I have?
Within 10, yeah.
Okay. I'm assuming I need to at least somewhat be able to see them. So that would be this one and
Mhm.
this one.
That's correct. If you can't see them, then you
And
can't
this-
target
No, no.
them.
Okay, fine.
I can barely see them, but I can see them.
It still
Yeah.
counts, yeah.
And there's one here. So like all
Okay.
that. Was that how many was that? I wasn't paying that much attention.
That was enough. That was 7.
Oh, okay, cool. So then I just chill out. It's my turn.
And it's Dursey's turn. What do you do?
I'm gonna repost this head here to get the adjacent
Cool.
heads.
Do it.
Yep. Done?
Wow, you almost got
Then can I
another
move?
natural one.
You sure can. You can move up to 6 squares.
Wait, so if he got a natural 1 in initiative, does that mean that, like, he was looking at his pot and, like, picking his nose and all of these heads surrounded him and me and Matt were like, oh, And he was like, 10 minutes later, "Huh!"
Oh, there's
Is that
skeletons.
like what
yes.
happened?
Yes.
So-
that is
Oh
canon.
my guys, there's
And-
skeletons
Ah!
here.
We're already like throwing
I invite
shit.
you guys to inject more narrative like that into the
Okay.
story. Like that's
So if
really
I
fun
move
for me,
down
so yes,
to
that's
where I
exactly
want to move and hit, can I riposte again in my turn?
You can't because you've already used your standard action. So you could move. You can interact with something simple, and you could use Second Wind as your only bonus
you could,
action
like,
skill.
walk over to them and pet
Got it.
them.
Oh, right.
Or you
Okay, so
couldn't.
there's the action you take, there's the bonus action you can take, basic,
So I'm gonna move,
whatever,
I'm just gonna use
and
Second
then
Wind.
movement. Okay. Yeah, you probably should Second Wind. You got hit real hard
Okay.
with those heads.
It's the minions' turn, and they are going to go ahead and move because there's few enough of them remaining that I can bother to do it. So I'm just going to move them close to you guys.
I am.
So Lisa, you take 2, and Darcy, you take 4,
Okay.
and then it's Lisa's turn.
Do I have
Cool.
to add
Alright.
my Second Wind to myself?
Oh, you went ahead and used it? I'm sorry,
Yeah.
I missed that. Yeah, just do plus 12 above your health.
Plus 12 minus 4 then.
That's right. You got it.
Okay, so I'm gonna do something. I'm
How dare you.
gonna just walk. I'm gonna walk over these bones and crush them under my feet like they're the nothings that they are. So I'm gonna go 1. You mean nothing to me. I'm gonna go 2. I'm gonna go 3. I'm gonna go 4.
There's goldfish crackers on the floor.
I'm gonna go 5.
Not just dump the carton on the floor.
And then I'm not done. So that was just my movement, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to be able to actually do any range thing because I used all 5 of my moves, right? So I can't use
No,
jump.
you can still use jump. That's just if you wanted to add extra things to kill for taking aim and not using your whole movement. So you could still jump
Okay,
on that guy. and
So I
finish him
use my like nothing thing to high five Darcy. High five.
off.
All right. I high five his middle finger, and then I jump over him in a dramatic manner, and I attack this bone structure next to him.
All right, and jump has you returning to your origin square, so you do one of these.
Yep, exactly. And then, oh wait, no, I already used one of those. I was gonna say, flick sunglasses down that I don't have.
Now, you guys cleared that encounter a little bit faster than I expected in my test adventure. So I was going to give you one more card during that adventure or during that combat. So I'll give it to you guys now. 1 second.
in your
This
face.
is a terrifying card, and I don't want you guys to be scared of it. Give me a second to explain it to you before you freak out about all the shit that's on there. This one is for Darcy. That one on the top right's for Matt. And Lisa, you get 2 of these as a fighter.
Oh, both of these are mine?
All right. Yep. And now, in addition to that, you each get one of these. So let me give you a couple copies of them before anybody picks it up.
Oh, son of a bitch.
Everybody pick up one of those. Look at all that text. Oh my god. Okay, so in base 4th edition, there are all these complicated
I can't
rules
read it.
about different things you can do on your turn, right? You'll have to click on the card when it's in your inventory to be able to read it, I think. Even then, if you just have a question about what it does, I can tell you. Anyway, there's all these complicated rules that say if you want to grab somebody, this is how grabs
If you think
work.
you
If you
can't
want
read
to
yours.
Oh.
push somebody, you have to push them. If you want to charge, you have to do all this crap. So we've done all of that with what's just called a maneuver card. You get one of these per combat, per event. Lisa gets 2 of them because she's a Dragoon. And then you can do one of those as a maneuver bonus action. So it uses the same kind of bonus action as a Second Wind, in addition to all your other stuff. You'll notice some of them are highlighted in different colors. The ones that are highlighted in red, Lisa, you can use those for free without using a maneuver card,
Shut
except you have to
up.
use a Dragoon bonus action instead of using a maneuver bonus action. So you could still, you could Second Wind and charge and move and interact and use a standard action all in the same turn, as long as it's one of each
Holy
type.
Shit. Cool.
But just keep those in mind. I'm mostly going to refer back to those later if there's rules that if you say, hey, I want to charge that guy, or hey, I want to try to push them over, or if Darcy wants to sneak later. We just use it as kind of a catch-all action for extra cool combat stuff that you can do once per encounter.
Cool.
So it's just
This
like
is awesome.
we should just decide we want to do extra stuff and not really worry too much about how the extra stuff really
Exactly.
works.
You just describe to me what you want to do, and I'll give
Yeah.
you. I'll say, okay, well that's a
Sounds great.
charge maneuver, so do all this, add 2 squares, and so on. Don't stress about trying to maximize that. The other thing I was going to give you guys here, I don't think everyone gets a card for this. It just might be Lisa. So Lisa, here's a reminder card for you about your taunt power. You can pick that up.
Oh, is it because I'm sassy?
That's a way to put it, yeah. You provoke enemies and you make them want to focus on you. So I'll explain. Each of you has a special passive power that's unique to your class.
Russell
Lisa's
Jennings.
power is called taunts. Whenever she hits an enemy, she taunts them for free. And what it does is it gives them a debuff. They get a debuff card called a taunt card. And if they attack somebody other than Lisa, they have disadvantage on their roll. They have to roll their attack twice and take the lower result. So it kind of incentivizes them to focus on her and not attack the healer, Matt, or the rogue who's more of a glass cannon, Darcy. Matt, you get your Protect and Haste abilities. Protect just has it so every combat, everybody starts with 6 temporary hit points. So if you guys want to go ahead and refill your health right now, go to your little green bubble and max it out. Lisa, your max health is 61. Matt and Darcy, you guys are both 51. And then you can put a 6 in your little blue bubbles going forward.
Oh, 6?
Oh.
6 in addition to my 2?
In addition to your 2 for a total of 8. That's correct. Yep.
Oh.
You
Cool.
You gotta.
And then, Matt, you also have Haste, which is basically every round you can slide yourself and each of your allies 1 square at any point during the round. So sliding is just moving them in any direction. So at your whim, whether it's on your turn, on their turn, you can say, hey, I'm going to use my Haste and slide you 1 square in any direction.
Nice.
And sliding does not provoke reaction attacks.
Okay.
Slide versus move.
Got it.
That's why it's called sliding. I'm pretty sure this is just moving, but why is it written that way? Cool.
Wait, why is it written that way? I
there's-
didn't get
Because
there's-
you don't get
there's-
reaction attacks.
There's no reaction attacks, and there's 3 different
so if
kinds
I
of
slid
forced
on top
movement.
of something, it wouldn't die.
Exactly. There's push,
it.
which only moves characters away from you. There's pull, which only moves characters towards you, and then slide is move them in any direction, but it's still forced movement. They can't control it.
Got it.
Gotcha. Alright, I'm gonna inspect...
Hold on. Before you do that, there's a bunch of pots in the corners. I think we should...
Lift them all?
I was going to say
Wait,
poop in them.
If we
but
lift them all,
I already
won't they
listed
just
this
come
one.
back again?
Well, I lifted
I'm
this
gonna
one
break,
and
I'm
it
going to break the
started
one
to
in the
fight.
top left-hand corner.
But, like, this door has a big lock on it.
This
so
one's
we're
gone too.
Oh, yeah, because you threw it.
Yeah.
Alright, so we have the top left
Alright,
and
well,
Bottom left.
bottom left.
so can we inspect this door or like...
No,
You
I
sure
think
can.
at-
What would
at
you like
the
to
count
do
of
with it?
3, let's poop in the pots.
I would like to detect lies on it. No, I'm kidding.
Poop in the pots.
I would like to pull out my tub of lard and grease the door.
Okay, that's cool.
Because why not?
What do you do after that? You've done it. The door has been greased.
Then I look at Matt and go, ta-da!
I inspect the door with my good vision for any small anomalies of things that might be important to oopening this door.
I wish to put my
I'm gonna
roguelike
roll.
wiener in the greased door giant keyhole
Oh no.
and feel out for any click-clacks in the lock.
Can you activate your specialized skill there, Matt?
Yes.
Oh, I'm not gonna Darcy.
That
Yeah, right.
probably
Darcy
should
has
be
the
your
put penis in lock. I mean, at this point,
dick
it's
dick
a
perception. Dick
specialized skill,
perception,
right?
but you can
That
use it
should
to,
be.
like,
Okay,
sense things.
so
I'm beefy on Pope.
your
Obviously, I put my dick in things.
That's true. Where it doesn't
your
belong.
augments are capable of crafting any mundane item, right? And
Yes.
usually you have a broad blueprint loadout of different things you can craft that are real things you've encountered in the real world. The way that you get those blueprints is you scan those objects. So if you find a key, you can scan the key and make more keys. There are occasionally certain sorts of items that for some reason can't be scanned, and they're almost always ancient technology. So in your perception check, when you look closely at this door, you got a 24. Even though this place kind of feels like a fantasy temple, this door feels like it has ancient technology in it. It feels more sci-fi, more fantastical and advanced.
Gotta go find
That's
the
all
key.
you know, though.
Gotta go find the key.
So I can't put my wiener in the door, have my wiener take the
You
shit
put your
in
wiener in the door,
then have
successfully.
him scan my wiener, make a key out of my wiener.
No.
That's a little bit more rigid than my wiener because it's
No,
seeing
there's
it.
magic.
Wait,
in the lock, right?
Can I
It's like-
use
There's like
Can I
RFID
use
or something that we don't know.
my fast
how it
fabricator?
So let's break the goddamn pots. Well, first I'm
Yeah.
gonna
Wait,
poop
wait,
in the
wait.
pot.
What are you
in the
trying to
left-hand
do,
corner.
Lisa? Go
I
for
got
it.
really big plans. I'm
But
gonna
we could
use
just
my.
probably just break these
I'm
pots.
gonna use my fast fabricator.
But Lisa, We could. While
No.
Lisa
Hey,
is.
Dylan, I was
cutting
to poop in
things-
the pot in the left-hand corner, top left-hand corner.
Understood. Are you breaking it as well?
No, I'm gonna poop it in and leave it for someone else to break.
Well, I'm
Lisa
not
gets
gonna
to break
break
that
it.
Where's Matt?
I'm not gonna break
I'm
that
smashing the one on the lower left.
Okay. Yours actually has another treasure in it. Here you go. You can go ahead and
What?
flip it. Lisa, what was your idea about your fast
I'm
fabricator?
gonna use my fast fabricator. I should have done this after my last
Right.
boss fight, but I didn't. I'm gonna use, not boss fight, but fight. I'm gonna use my fast fabricator. I'm gonna instantly make sunglasses. I'm gonna flip them on my head, and I'm gonna say, deal with it.
Cool. You now have sunglasses. Go ahead and add them to your inventory
Yes,
slots.
I already did! Alright.
You're on that shit.
So check it out.
Okay.
There's only one possible place for the key to be, and I shit in the pot.
Yep.
Have at it, dudes.
That's
No,
on Lisa.
you're the one with the fist. Okay, fine. I put on my gloves, which I already have in my inventory,
Mm-hmm. Good job. Well done.
and I break the poop pot.
Do you know what a chamber pot is, Bender? You break the poop pot and there was just poop in there.
I
But it was worth it.
slap Darcy
You feel
backhand
invigorated
with
by
my
the
poop
experience.
gloves.
Do I have pink eye
All right.
medicine in my bag?
Guys, there were
I want
two.
that.
Can you fast fabricate?
There were two other doors, so let's leave this room and go
Okay.
back to the other one that was open.
I agree. Let's
On
let's
the
head
left
down
side.
the stairs.
Alright, that was worth it. Worth it. Okay, so then we move down,
The poop
and we
gloves.
move
Yeah, we just
all
gotta-
So you may as well
the way
just change the item in your inventory from gloves to poop gloves, please. It'll be relevant.
Oh, yep. Hold up. Well, I have... Okay, so it's gonna be poop gloves and scarf. The scarf is not pooped, though. I
For
did
the
put
whole adventure prop, she is not gonna stop playing
Yeah,
poop
how do I-
until she has them.
And the descriptor that I had in
How
it
do I
was
have
shit
an
gets cold
inventory?
sometimes,
How
so
do I
that
add
works
things in my
perfectly.
inventory?
Sir
Gloves of
suggested that
smearing.
they be called the gloves of smearing.
I like the gloves of smearing. That's
Okay.
good.
How do I add to my inventory?
No, they're
Can they,
my
have
inventory.
can they have a special
Well, no, how do I add
attribute
anything to my
stank plus
inventory?
1?
You guys are going in this other door on the left side, is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you're in your character sheet,
Yep.
Next to stats, like the next bar over is inventory,
Ooh, there's
Attributes and
torches,
abilities?
guys.
and that's where you get to do some fun stuffs.
I don't know if I have that. I just have attributes
You
and
totally
abilities
do.
and
There's
stats.
3 torches.
Oh, no. Right at the top, there's like stats, inventory, power, settings.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's a different tab for it.
So under character sheet,
Yeah,
it's
you
the
got it.
first
You got
black
Inventory
bar.
name.
Yeah,
Yep.
Who could have known, right? Plaster Master.
we got it. All right. Oh,
There's
None of-
torches. And
none of us have fire, do we?
Dream feels very Zelda-y, so I feel like we might want to light them.
I have a flask. I personally have a flask, which means that I have lighter fluid, right? Does anyone have something
Wait,
to
why
like
do you
light
have
them on
lighter
fire?
fluid?
Well, because it's alcohol. I have a flask. It's just
It depends what's in it.
whiskey.
Okay. I mean,
You
if we
have a
had something,
six-pack, I have
I think
a
if we had
flask.
something to light the contents of your flask on fire, we'd also just light the torches.
Dylan, can I inspect this statue in the top left-hand corner?
You sure can. It's remarkably lifelike.
My goodness.
There's that's gonna come to it's gonna be the thing where you gotta shoot him in the eye. I've played Zelda. Okay.
Would like to approach the statue and attempt to search it for
Buttholes?
ancient symbols.
Oh, that's dumb.
Okay.
Yes, Link. It's a tutorial adventure. I'm just trying to teach them the mechanics of my Ultra House Rolled 4E. So
We're noobs. We have no idea what
can
we're
you
doing.
go ahead and do
we
your
need a handhold tutorial.
inspectability?
I did. I rolled my symbols. I was specifically inspecting it. There we go. Now he gets to fight
Oh,
it. It's gonna be like a
it's
real
alive
fight.
now.
We're gonna touch his butthole.
Okay. I shift back and forth, scared.
Ooh, I pooped my pants a little.
I'm guessing we're gonna need to roll for some initiative here.
Yeah, please go ahead and roll initiative. All right, you guys are now encountering your first ever actual enemy that's not a minion.
No
So
way.
he has a bunch of new rules
I'm
that I'll
gonna be
explain in a
last.
second. Among them, he rolls his own initiative.
Oh.
She got
I'm going
ass on.
this.
It's okay.
Hold it now. Hold it now.
Wait, why am I above a 23?
I have to resort it in a second once Dursey
Got
finishes
it.
rolling initiative here.
Got it.
Okay, so there's going to be a few things to point out here. First of them is that every monster, at least the way I designed them, has 3 abilities. One of them is a basic power that they can use as many times as they like.
Okay.
One of them is a cooldown power that they only get to use 1 time for the entire encounter. And then they all have a special passive skill that triggers every round. I'm all about being as open as possible with the monster design. It's not going to be a big surprise, so its passive ability is this, if you look in chat. It says, every other round, the creature opens or closes its central eye. When its eyes close, it takes half damage. Nearby minions spawn and attempt to sacrifice themselves to it, granting it 2 armor points each. And when its eyes close, it can be permanently forced open by reducing its HP by 20 or more while it's closed. In addition, because this is a real enemy, it actually has hit points and defenses. So just for fun, we're not actually going to trigger this as an attack. Matt, can you use one of your powers on this thing? Break Blade or Blind? Okay, so now we can see, you see where it says 26 versus 18 armor? Armor is one of its 4 defenses. If you guys each pull up your character sheets and go to the stats tab and look in the top right corner, you can see 4 kinds of defenses. Armor is attempts to physically hit you. Fortitude is like your ability to withstand pain, poison, that sort of thing. Reflex is your ability to get out of the way of things, and will is your ability to withstand domination and charm effects and that sort of thing. So every attack in the game targets a different defense, and enemies are strong in one defense and weak in another defense in a lot of cases. So part of combat is figuring out what's this guy weak to and what powers should I use. You can see if you look at your current powers what defense they target. Armor is probably the most common. I think blind targets something other than armor, but you can double check. And then enemies can gain status effect cards. So like, for example, Matt, your Break Blade ability gives them a defense penalty card, so you can make it more easy to hit them. And if those get applied, so if we were to give this guy a status effect right now, suppose you actually hit him with that and you wanted to penalize his armor, this would show up and we'd say, okay, he's got a penalty to armor. And the next time you hit him, you can make that, you can consume it and actually hit him if you otherwise would have missed. Trying to think if there's anything else you need to know. Oh, last thing. So now that we have non-minion enemies, we've introduced the possibility of failing in combat. You can miss. If you guys each click on your character, you see how there's a little red circle above you too that has a 2 in it?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, so every character starts every combat with 2 sphere points. And sphere points are a special resource that you can use to add additional points onto a roll that fails. So if you miss something by 2, you can spend 2 sphere points in order to make it hit. And the way sphere points are generated is whenever you miss with an attack, depending on how expensive the attack was to use, it generates more sphere points. So it's kind of like oh, it's sorry that you missed, but here's some effect that happens anyway. Later on, when you guys unlock cooldown powers and ultimate powers, sometimes they actually use sphere points to be used. So sometimes you want to miss or fail occasionally, or generate sphere points in other ways in order to be able to use your ultimates.
That's when you get to do the crazy stuff that you know is never going to actually work.
But if it does, it's awesome!
It does!
All right, Dursey, it's your turn. You get to act first. What do you do?
I'm gonna dart him and then run the fuck away.
Okay. Cool. So because you are shifting
that's
away,
good.
you don't get he doesn't get a reaction attack against you. So you go ahead and move your how many squares you
Shift
want.
away to.
Shift.
Ooh, like see, every time I hit the thing, it's.
You can just, if there's not minions that you're killing, don't worry about it. Just go ahead and move to the space you want to go to. It should be within 8 squares
I got
of you.
6 other moves. Dude.
That's right. You did good damage. You hit for 12. Or sneak attack is you do bonus damage against an enemy if you have advantage against them. And the way you get advantage is kind of complicated. In this case, though, rogues automatically have advantage against any enemy that hasn't acted yet in the encounter. So you get to also apply that sneak attack damage at the bottom there. So he took 12 plus 9 damage total. I'll go ahead and affect his hit point total here 1 second.
So how do I know how much damage it does? Is that the hit on the dart, which is 1W plus dex? Or is it from the roll, or...?
Yeah, look at the roll. If you hover over, you see where it says 12 damage in the roll? It shows you how much damage you dealt out of how much you totally could have dealt if it had been a perfect roll.
Yeah.
So you did max damage on your hit because you rolled a 4 on the dice. And then if you look at the sneak attack, it says you rolled a 2d6, so you rolled 2 6-sided die. You got a 4 on one of them and a 5 on one of them for a total of 9.
I got to do something so I can actually see the die on my screen after I roll them.
Okay. And then I think that's the end of your turn, Dercy.
I feel like I should be able to see it too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm all
right, Matt, it's your turn.
All right. So if I were to move away right now, would he get to like attack me as I moved away because I was next
That's
to him
correct.
to start?
It's a reaction attack. Now you could use a maneuver. One of your maneuvers, if you look at that card, is called Shift, and that just lets you shift one square. That lets you disengage from an enemy like that.
Okay.
But then you don't have a maneuver bonus or maneuver
But
card.
if I was also thinking, hey, Breakblade's gonna give him some debuffs, I might as well do that while
Sure.
I'm here and then move away.
Yep. So 14 versus 18 is a miss. You gain 1 sphere point. You can increase that to 3. But most abilities that have additional effects, even if you miss, you don't deal damage, but you still get the additional effect. So you can give this guy a defense -2 card. Which defense would you like to penalize? You can do armor, fortitude, reflex, or will.
You attack armor. Yeah, I'll do armor.
Yeah, he seems to have strong armor. Well, maybe not.
All right, so that armor's going to stick on top of him until someone does an attack where they need to use it to hit. So it's not going to get wasted the first time you swing at it. If someone misses it by 1 or 2, you can go ahead and say, let's consume that armor card, and then we'll delete it and you won't have the debuff anymore. And you said you were going to go ahead and use your maneuver card, Matt? So shift.
Yeah, I guess I might as well. It feels very, fairly like a thing that's happening. So to use it, should I just... Oh, it's just a bonus.
Drag it off of your inventory. Yeah, and I'll just delete it. It's fine.
Cool. Yeah, so I'll shift 1 that way. And then, I have 7 from motion. So I'm just gonna get a little bit out of the way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Since I'm a mage at the end of the day.
That's fair.
And I have like that's about it, right? I don't really have anything else.
That's about it, yeah.
All right. Question. So this maneuver card, you said that anything that's red I can use for free, so that means that I don't have to give you my maneuver card if I use them? I just
That's
get
correct,
to do...
yep.
Oh, dope. Okay.
And you use a fighter bonus or a dragoon bonus action instead of a maneuver bonus action. So if something else still uses a maneuver bonus action, like Second Wind, you can do it on the same turn.
Sweet. Okay, so I charge in at him while taunting him. Hey, ugly, how's your depth perception, One Eye? And then I jump on him. It was awful.
You have a natural 1.
And I trip. I make fun of his depth perception, and then I jump at him, and I miss him by a block. And I just look at him, straight-faced, and there's a silent moment between the both of us where we really understand each other.
Now, although you missed, because of your ability, you have taunted him now. So he does have taunt. And taunt is a permanent effect. If you see an effect has yellow text, that means that when they go to discard the card, they don't discard it, they keep it.
Cool. And,
Okay, and go ahead and gain 1 sphere point.
Cool. I'll add that. So we're having this moment. Can I do anything else? Can I, like, run?
You can move.
Okay. So we have this moment where we look at each other, and then I just say, goodbye, and I start to run. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And hopefully it'll pull him down and away from you guys.
I'm a rogue.
And that's it. I'll call it my turn.
You can do it from behind.
On the minion initiative count, there currently aren't any, but there's about to be. They rise up from the ground.
Goddamn!
Oh god, why are there so many?
Skeletors everywhere.
They're big too.
They are big. I can't believe a critical fail.
You
All right, so the
After
rogue
you were
take-
making fun
After
of him too.
How much do I take?
I know, I had such a good idea of what was going to happen.
you take
there.
10, and
Yeah,
Matt, you take 4. All right. On the creature's turn, I'll move its little icon separately. It moves over and tries to use its cooldown power on you guys.
Wait, doesn't it move to me because of the taunt?
It doesn't have to. It's going to take a penalty for it because it chose not to.
Ha! Idiot.
So it's going to use an ability called Eye Blast. In the future, you guys will unlock some powers that are a blast, is what their targeting says. Blast means that it's a area that's a number of squares on one side equal to the number. And so that's complicated. A blast 3, if he did a blast 3 on the right side of him, that means it would look like this. See, it's a square that has 3 squares on each side.
Oh, okay.
A blast 2 would look like this. And a blast 1 would just be 1 square, which usually they don't bother with that.
Got it.
So his Eye Blast ability is a blast 3. It hits this area, which
Oh,
means it's going
no.
to kill all the minions in there.
Oh, good.
Oh.
My dick.
Your dick is fine.
But he's going to try to hit both of you. He has to roll to attack both of you.
Oh, look
Oh, he
at
just
that.
threw up.
He misses the rogue,
Ooh.
Kill him shifty
You
like that.
sneaky mother.
and he hits the red mage. So, Matt, you take 23 points of damage.
God damn, dude!
From across the room, I say, "How's your depth perception? You only hit 1." And I just look to the side, and I just sit there
All
quietly.
those taunts. So, Matt, if you can gain these 2 burn 5 cards, just
Oh.
go ahead and take card.
Great. I love that.
I have heal.
And then,
I can do it
Dursey,
for
you get
free.
one of, even though he misses you, he still applies a card to you, so you pick up the last one.
Do I just like put that
Question.
in my... Where does this go?
You just right click it and take it.
I'm starting to get a little drunk. So, question.
Yes.
Really?
Maneuver. Heal is a maneuver I can do for free. Can I, like, charge into Matt and, like, rip a Band-Aid out and, like, wrap it around his body like a mummy?
That's okay.
And then, like, run away? All for free?
We got this. Don't worry about it.
If you have moved over to him, you can use heal as a free action. But if you look at the reminder text, heal is to pick somebody up who's below 0 hit points and restore them to 1 hit point. That's the main thing that it does. Yeah.
Got it. Okay, so never mind.
Now, I
He has to
actually
be
forgot, Lisa, this is mostly on you. I'm going to do my best to remember stuff, but it's kind of it's the onus on the person that applies a debuff to remind the person. I only tried to hit Matt once. So since he's taunted, he's supposed to roll twice and take the lower roll. So we'll do it a second time and see if it misses this time. It totally missed. So Matt, you get your 23 hit points back if you do plus 23. And go ahead and discard one of those 2 burn cards I gave you. All right, and then Dursey, it's your turn.
Alright, so if I use my repost on the monster, if he were to try to attack me again, I could interrupt his turn.
That's correct, yep.
I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna apply that to the monster. And I would like to apply that to the monster.
I just put it there. Cool. You got it.
I got it.
My health's all screwy. So you're supposed to
One
have
minute, I am having some issues with...
There you go. Oh, you got a critical hit. Oh boy, we get to explore a critical. Because that number is green, that means you rolled a natural 20. So
Oh
a couple
yeah, it's
things.
the opposite of your earlier natural 1.
Where did I see a green number? Is that in the chat?
Yeah.
You do max damage on both hits. So you did 12 damage with the main attack and 12 damage with the sneak attack for a total of 24.
Ooh-wee. Alright. So then...
And he has a repost debuff now.
So I can then move and kill some of these minions.
You sure can.
For some reason it's just like 4 squares there.
Yeah, if you struggle with it, you can just kind of highlight the ones that you want to be killing during your movement.
Rather than moving,
Now-
you can also use the arrow keys for like individual.
That's- Yeah, arrows are fine. I can still see how you're moving if you do that.
Hey.
Now, real quick, because you moved out of his threatened squares, he gets a reaction attack against you. But you gave him a riposte card, so before that reaction attack can attempt, you can try to go ahead and counterattack him. So just use your riposte action on him again for free.
Right now, just click riposte.
Yeah. Just click and click. You don't have to move next to him again.
It
It just happened as you were moving away.
You can't see him, but he got it anyway.
That's a pretty good one.
All right.
You totally
And
countered
then
him.
this goes away.
He tried
He
to
is
counter
not
you,
looking
and you're
too great. He is more than bloodied at the moment.
Instead.
I didn't choose the road.
Matt, it's your turn.
Roguelike chose me. I have no idea what
Alright,
was going on.
so when I'm doing the thing where I don't move and I'm like just firing stuff off, is that
Yep.
actually shooting blind or is it shooting like some other movement?
You get to
trade-off?
describe it. The abilities in 4th edition are very wireframey, so each of your
Okay.
skills, it really just says what the stats are. You can describe it however you want. So you can be like, you have one hand that shoots out and blasts everybody.
Well, yeah, no, I'm just wondering from a like standpoint of I can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 things out there. Can I kill all 6 things with blind and then throw 2 more blinds at Igor?
So the
Wow.
ability
You
to
don't
target
understand like
minions
that.
is a special ability. So
You
what
don't
you would
know
do is
me.
you would cast blind on Igor, and then you would blast like 6 or 7 more enemies
Kill
after
all
that.
of them. Okay, I'm gonna do that.
Yeah.
So we're gonna we'll start with blinding Igor because that's the exciting one.
In fact, we do, Link. So Link asked, do we trust Roll20's RNG to be random? People were so goofy and nerdy about that they actually based the RNG in Roll20 on actual fluctuations in a quantum beam of light. So, yes, it is actually random. It's actually a little bit more random than using real dice, which have imperfections that bias them in certain ways. Anyway, you kill all the
Listen, if
minions.
you're
Random
making
factor,
a
though.
D&D based thing, you've got to make it perfect.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
Better
Gotta
than-
have blue
because
hair.
someone's gonna be nerdy about
Someone's
it.
gonna get nerdy about it.
Gotta have blue hair.
Bye, Turner.
All
All right,
so-
and then it is Lisa's turn. What do you do?
Oh wait,
Yes.
I have one. Move
Oh, you still have more to
left.
do. Go ahead.
Yeah, because I was
What are
six
you gonna do?
6 guys casting blind on him, and then I have 1 movement. That's it.
Okay.
Now I'm done.
I wish he was closer. All right, well, I'm gonna start.
You ran away from him, and now you wish he was closer.
Well, I did it to pull him, and then he didn't. I
Try to pull him
taunted
towards you.
I taunted
Okay.
him really hard.
Yeah, he didn't care.
And he didn't care.
No, it worked out because then he missed as a result.
He did. He
Oh,
missed
and
everybody.
Oh, wait.
I forgot to remind you, Matt, but that burn card that you took, just go ahead and
Two.
consume it, which means apply the effect to yourself and then discard the card.
Gotcha.
That would have
So
happened
it's
at the start of your turn.
4. All right, so that's 4 moves.
Take 5 damage.
Right up in his face.
Yep.
Does it hit this 1st?
Mhm.
All right, I walk
Yes, it
4.
would.
I walk 4. I'm right up in his face. I take out my poop glove and I slap him across the face.
In his
and
eye, pink
say,
eye.
This time, I'm gonna get you. And I give him pink eye. And I do
That wasn't fan art. That was from the.
jump
The
on
bitch making a
him.
real jetpack cat?
Yeah, that was from the video.
So I
I was
jump
a tiny
on
bitch
him.
at that time. Then she grew up.
Yes!
Oh,
That was
there you
the
go.
opposite of what happened.
For 16 damage, so I was about to do some fancy thing about you giving him an accuracy debuff because you smeared
Because
poop
of
in his
pink
eye.
eye?
Yeah, but you did so much damage that you killed him. So,
See? I got my comeuppance.
Well, he got it.
Well, I think I did more
Oh, right.
damage.
He got his comeuppance. I got my revenge. That's the word.
good job, team.
Can
You
I?
did it.
All right,
Can I approach his corpse and inspect?
you sure can. What would you like to do with it?
I would like
Put your
to
dick in
look.
it?
I would like to look at his eye hole that is now covered with my poop,
You don't get the fucking dick.
and
Get
then
some
I
of
would
those
like
eye
to get my
holes.
own poop on my own dick. Because, like, how else would this happen other than killing a Cyclops? Do I have to roll for that?
No, that's fine. You got it.
I watch
You can carry his
approvingly.
poopy eye with you if you want to.
And not in
Yeah.
a weird way. Just very approvingly.
Yeah, so I'd like to dig his eyeball out of his head with my
I'm gonna
dick.
just
Oh,
move
can I have it? Can I have it? Can I have it?
over
Can I have it?
here for now, towards the stairway. There's a girl. I'm gonna wait, kind of like in the stairway,
Well,
I
like
take his
halfway
eyeball
down.
and I start
No,
playing
no,
songs.
I'm holding on to it.
Ugh.
It's
Damn it.
still on my
Okay.
weenus, and I'm gonna walk it
Alright,
to one
then
of
I'm
these
gonna walk
torches
away.
and drop it in the hole in the center. And then yell Sean Kemp. and grabbed my own dick.
Who's Sean Kemp?
The basketball player.
Okay.
Grabbed his own dick dunking. Got in a lot of trouble.
Got it. Okay.
Got hooked on cocaine,
So-
kicked out of the league, became fat, came back in the league, didn't last.
You guys have been critting and doing really high damage rolls, so I haven't been able to gate and give you powers very slowly. So I'm just going to go ahead and give you a bunch of them right now, and I think you guys can handle it. So, Matt, we'll start with you. You get 2 cure cards.
Thank you. That's like the biggest compliment ever because I knew that I would definitely play D&D like Aaron McGathy, who is hilarious.
Wait, I was...
So I appreciate that.
I was expecting not to be trusted because I just carried an eyeball to a torch with my dick.
Those are for
do,
you,
man.
And
Darcy.
dunked it.
Oh, Darcy, take those things.
Dude,
These
I'm
are for you, Lisa.
busy.
Which ones? Oh, this guy, the one I'm
My
moving around
taxes
like a
here.
madman.
Yeah, let me step through what these things do for you real quick. 1 second.
I got mad heals, yo.
Tails.
If I choose
That's
to
like-
use them.
You're a real asshole, Red Mage.
Oh, I'm the
Okay.
asshole.
Hey, Dylan, do I get to
So-
remove this debuff on me?
Yeah, that would have gone.
Yeah, you get to remove all the debuffs, heal yourself to full, add 6 temporary hit points, all that fun jazz.
Breath.
Matt, you also get this skill, if you want to go ahead and take this one.
What's yours?
Yep. So I'll walk through each of your new powers. Matt, as a red mage, has access to Cure, which he can use as a red mage bonus action to help one of you
Twice
heal and
per
slide you a
turn.
square. So he gets to do that twice per encounter. It is a cooldown power, which means that when you use it, unlike your basic powers, you can use as much as you want. You have to put it on the board and discard it. You also get a skill called Muddle, Matt,
Yep.
which does more damage. It does 2 weapon damage, so you'll roll your dice twice. And it makes it so that you can slide the enemy and one of your allies can attack it as a free action.
Do I have to slide it like toward them, or do they just get to?
You can slide it however you like. As long as it's within range of your ally, they get to attack it.
Okay, so it needs to be within range of them though for them to attack it.
Yeah. Lisa, can you pick up your other thing?
There's another one. Oh, sorry.
Yep. No worries.
Yeah, got it.
You chose to be a dragon, was the race that you chose for your augment. They're called kindred rather than races, but it's the same idea. And dragons have an ability to breathe different elements. You chose cold damage. So if you use your breath weapon, you can blast, do a blast 3 next to you, which again looks like this. As long as it
9
shares
squares.
an edge with you, you can do up to 3 squares and hit them all with
Wow.
some cold damage.
Cool.
That bitch was making
You can go ahead and try using that on Matt really quick so you can see how it works. Just I should see it now.
Gladly. So me. Breath weapon. Matt.
There you go.
You
Cool.
suckers.
And then you also
Lisa,
got quick jump.
why?
Oh,
Quick jump is basically the same thing as jump. The thing that's special about it is that you get to use it as a fighter bonus action instead of as a standard action. So you can do that in addition to jump or a shield bash or a breath weapon.
You could choose
The same's
that.
actually true. If you look at the breath weapon, that one's also a bonus action. And the way you can tell if something's a bonus action, if you guys look on your characters, if you look at your little macros,
It's-
if there's a double arrow on a skill, that means it's a bonus action.
Double arrow.
Little
Oh.
play symbol.
Oh, I
I
have
see.
3 bonus act.
So I'll be able to attack
Okay.
someone and cure somebody else, and then
That's
do
correct.
a thing. Cool.
Yeah, they wanted to make it in 4th edition so that healers didn't feel like all they had to do was heal. You can heal and go ahead and attack most of the time.
Oh, that's nice.
Darcy, you got Expose.
I was to expose myself to the team.
That's exactly what's happening.
Internet,
In
be
you
ready.
give them a card that's permanent for the whole encounter that makes them grant advantage to you. So basically, if you expose
That's
something, you
really
get to
what it
use
is.
your sneak attack on it for the rest of the combat.
Did you just
And
expose
then you got a
yourself to me?
special ability called Dash. That's not a cooldown power. It's also an
You failed.
basic power that you could use all the time. If you look at Dash, it doesn't have a macro, but it just says that as a rogue bonus action, you get to move your speed again. So not only do you get to move on your move action, but you can also move with a bonus action now and move a ton of
Oh.
squares if you want to.
Can
Want
you
me to
go
go get us more
anywhere?
drinks?
Yeah, so I think we're almost done. We just do boss.
And then
Yeah.
we're gonna make some drinks.
Got it.
I think we'll call it in about 10 minutes. I just want to give you your last couple cards here and get you introduced to whatever the beginning of the next encounter is.
Cool.
Let's see. No, we'll just go to the next encounter. You guys will have fewer powers for it, but I think you'll be okay. And then we'll stop when I introduce it. So, if,
Alright,
anything
leave
else
the
you wanted to
room.
do in this room?
Oh, I guess we should light all the torches. Do we have the ability to do that?
It's up to you. Do you have items or ideas for ways to light them?
I only have AIDS in my bag.
I have ice breath, not fire breath, so I can't.
Can I expose myself?
Remember, don't feel super limited to your skills. Like, you have your fast fabricator.
That's true.
Can I
Can
fast
someone fast
fabricate a
fabricate a lighter?
flamethrower and fuel?
Flamethrower might be a little too complicated, but you could make like a torch with cloth wrapped around it.
Can I make a stick with a sock wrapped around it that's been soaked in kerosene a la camping in high school?
Wait! I have spare socks in my inventory. Oh, I just screwed things up.
Use those socks with Lisa's alcohol, right?
Yeah!
And my stick that I'll 3D print.
Wait, but we don't have anything to light the fire, so someone needs we need a lighter. We need matches or a lighter or something like that.
Can I fabricate corduroy pants and move my legs really fast?
Ooh.
Yeah, go ahead. Put it in your inventory
That's
so we can
probably
keep
the
track of the
best
fact
we
that you have
got.
corduroy
Alright,
pants.
cool. Using corduroy pants, old socks, a
So-
stick,
Rogue.
and whiskey. We create a torch,
Mm-hmm.
How do you spell corduroy?
and we run around,
C-O-U-R.
and we light all three things.
Hold on a second.
Oh, we got it, guys.
Da-na-na-na-na-na-na. No?
Yes, actually.
Yes. Dope.
That's my box. Those are my corduroy pants.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, get it, Rogue. Get it
Actually,
even faster.
I'm gonna take it.
Bitch!
Ha! Because it looked like speed, right?
Yeah, with speed.
I don't have maneuverability. Like, I don't have a lot of...
Alright, you guys are doing adventure game levels of lighting things on fire.
Yeah, pretty much.
Alright,
I mean,
so I have
look
speed
at that
plus 2. Ha-ha! Ha-ha! What was that for?
I threw a dart at you.
Oh.
And I assume you guys are just going in the final room here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Into the final room.
Yeah, we're gonna drax them sclounce. That corduroy pants.
This
that
is
have
gonna
now
be-
been
Right,
this
there's
is gonna
some
be
minions
dope.
in here already, but they're not dangerous enough to trigger your danger sense to have to worry about moving turn by turn. So you guys can just kind of explore around right now. But notice that they do 3 damage, and if you destroy one of them by moving through its space, you gain a Shock 3 card that makes you take 3 lightning damage on your
Ah,
turn.
son of a bitch. Okay.
that's
We
fine.
gotta move through these carefully. So
You guys
let's
don't have
see.
to like perfectly just describe how you're going to get past them for now.
Oh, well, I've got some.
Can we use our attacks or no?
You can,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
if you can just say I'm going to do this. You know.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
shield bash this
gonna-
guy.
I'm gonna get my position sort
Can I
of
do that?
on the left here.
I'm gonna follow
Oops,
the
I
the
shield
tank.
bashed myself.
I'm gonna just
All right,
blast out a
guys,
couple,
guys,
a
I
couple
already-
blinds from a distance.
I
on
made
these
us
guys.
I made us a
Mhm.
path already. We're good. We're
Cool.
good.
Keep going, Lisa. You're the tank.
Whoa, what's that thing?
Oh, that looks
Okay, you
like
can
a
go ahead and
boss.
stop now. We're going to go turn-based.
Oh, that looks like a
So
boss.
we gotta roll fire shits.
Yep, please do.
I'm about to roll the fire the fuck out of my shits.
Yeah, I get him away.
6? Oh, that's not good.
It's
You
my
get
jock
20?
jams!
What is this?
Got fucking music. Is chem level music?
I mean, we did tell
23.
Dylan the games that we wanted to hear.
Alright, Red Mage, you're first. You have to lead us with the tanking.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
There's actually going to be a surprise round here.
Oh, okay.
So in the distance, you hear a roaring sound.
It's a kitty cat!
I think
Ah,
it's bigger than a
Guys,
kitty cat.
I
What do
did
you
it
keep
again.
clicking?
I keep clicking the back button on my mouse by accident.
Oh.
Don't worry about it. We'll get back.
What are you, a bag of boners or something?
Oh, is it a golem?
Is
It
it
is
a
a
Dungeon
Lionel.
Dragon?
It's a Lionel.
Is it Buster Rhymes?
Yeah. This is actually what Lionel's look like in Link to the Past, by the way.
Oh, really?
It gets on all sixes and charges at you. It does have 2 sphere points to spend. All enemies start with 2 sphere points, so it spends them in order to hit you for 26 damage, Lisa.
Jesus. Alright, so
it then
I take
gets to
this
jump
6
away
out.
10 squares.
So I take negative 20 because I had 6 in my bluey.
Kablooey.
I think I brought
Jumps
everything
back
back.
10 squares.
Now, yep. Now you can try a reaction attack against it.
Yeah.
This
How do I do
perfect
that?
dodge. You have to take a. So go ahead and just hit it with either shield bash or jump.
I'm totally gonna try shield bash because it'll throw it back into the other guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nope. Not gonna happen.
Yeah. You had a -5 penalty as well as 11 versus 20. You missed, but you go ahead and gain 1 sphere point. You should be up to 3 now.
Oh, no, I should be up to 4. I gained 1 in the last thing.
You start each encounter with 2.
I was gonna
Okay,
say
got it.
mine have reset.
Got it.
I did not reset.
So it moves back. You do go ahead and still push it. So if you want to shift into its space, you can.
I do actually. That would be lovely.
I'll put
gonna
it here.
move me here, like here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
Well.
And then its turn's not over. It goes ahead and uses its passive stare down.
Oh yeah. Can I use
Fear
my
card.
can I use my social or my endurance skill of not giving a shit to counter
You
it?
sure can. Go ahead and roll it. I'll give you a DC. Fantastic.
I don't give a shit
You got a
about
27.
your
You-
damn stare down. Stare me
You do
down
not
all
gain the fear
you
card
want,
that you
Six
normally would have
Legs.
gained. You do not gain the fear card you normally would have gained.
Yeah.
Well done, Lisa.
That's good.
Yes.
All right. And real quick before we wrap up here, there are 2 more enemies here. You might be able to make out the Wizzrobe in the corner. I'll pop him over here so you can see him.
Cool.
He's got a big white aura around him,
Okay.
and this is what it does. All allies within 3 squares of the Wizzrobe, not including itself, have a +10 bonus to all defenses. On the Wizzrobe's turn, it sets its allies' armor points value equal to 10, so they all already have 10 armor points. It loses its power if that Dark Nut is defeated. And finally, the Dark Nut has heavy armor. It's immune to attacks made from squares in front of its shield, but it takes double damage from attacks made from behind. When its Wizzrobe ally dies, its heavy armor falls off, and it gets to use Taunt Strike twice per round.
Okay.
Okay. That's it. That's as far as we got for this one. You guys are about 60% of the way through, so next session we can definitely clear this out and move on to some actual
Cool.
story adventure.
Cool.
We're gonna get
Good.
the karate down. We're gonna karate chop their dicks off.
Yeah.
Then I'm gonna take their dicks, put them next to my dick, and I'll be, oh, I got 3 dicks.
And then I'm just gonna not give a shit. Because that's my endurance power.
That was pretty sweet, Lisa. I was like, when is
And I
she
was
going to
like,
use
I'm
not giving a
stare
shit
him
as a
down,
power?
and I'm not gonna give a shit that he's staring me down.
Well, it's a Lionel, so I'll set the power pretty high, but
Cool. That's fair.
you still hit it.
Alright, so we just
Cool.
close the browser out and it doesn't break? Or do we have
Alright.
to save this?
Yeah, you
it's
should be
all-
fine.
it's all
So
saved up.
This
before
is gonna
everybody
be
bounces,
awesome.
I just wanted to get a little bit of feedback to know what you guys liked, what you guys didn't like, what you'd like to see different in the next session, so I can make some adjustments. It's going to be a while until we play again, right? Because, Matt, you're heading to Japan.
Yeah, Matt's,
Yeah,
Matt's going to Japan.
Yeah, I'm out of here.
Do we have
in a
time
week or
next
so.
week?
We might be able
We
to.
have time next
We
week.
might be able to do a short session
Maybe.
and finish this up next week if this is all.
I could do an hour and a half. That would get us pretty far with what you guys have
Okay.
already unlocked
Yeah.
so far.
Yeah, let's plan on doing another hour next week, I guess. Then, I'll
Okay.
get back to you on
Yeah,
what
I
day
think
it
we
makes
should.
sense, and then we'll do
And
the
we-
same thing.
I can.
We've been doing
not do
hyper
Tuesdays
mechanics
or
focus.
Thursdays.
Yeah.
Tuesdays and Thursdays are off. Okay, I'll keep that
Okay,
in mind.
probably next Wednesday then.
That's when I bake.
Yeah. So.
That's actually your first real battle because you're actually fighting 3 enemies this time, and they're gonna try to taunt you and things like that. So as far as like the mechanics so far, it's been very mechanics focused. You haven't been doing a lot of exploration or treasure hunting, but do the mechanics make sense? Are you kind of learning how to move your character around and use your abilities?
The program doesn't seem to be working great with this here computer where it's not showing me how many spaces I'm moving.
We'll
but
figure
I
it
can
out.
also
We'll
count
either
squares.
we'll check that computer and we'll check the like a couple other laptops and figure out which one works best.
I'll set you guys up too. I'll put a bunch of target dummies on this map and put a grid on there so you can play around
Yeah.
with it at some point if you want to make sure everything works.
Yeah.
I think I figured out the spacebar thing finally.
Cool.
You
Cool.
click on
Well,
them.
sweet guys, that was a lot of fun. Thanks for playing.
Yeah.
I look forward. I'll reach out to you guys in Discord to find out when we'll play next. We'll try to do another short session and
Sounds
wrap up the
good.
tutorial adventure.
Awesome.
GG
Later, everybody.
easy.
Until next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.